Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we're talking about, are you ready to enjoy life? You ready to start having fun enjoying life earlier than later? How? Of course, we talk about all of that because it's SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream, and I have a story to tell. So therefore, please stay tuned and welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. And thank you so much for being here. And please share the videos because you never know who you're going to be able to help. You never know who's looking for help. So that always helps us all out, right? And make sure, as I mentioned on the intro, smash that like button. That's so the YouTube gods know that we have someone in the house tonight. And if you like to subscribe after listening to what we have said, please do. Now, let's get into this tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But first, we have a special announcement that I'm enjoying talking about, Beachfront Java. No, the link is not down below in the description. The link is in the chat box, beachfrontjava.com. Our own Professor Auntie Val and family have started the Beachfront Java. And if you've already ordered before July 3rd, that means you always will have a 10% discount from your next order. Now, if you want to get on that bandwagon, you have to become a new buyer at Beachfront Java. After your first order, make sure you put in SSN Nation in the promo code or send a message, an email and saying, hey, I'm from SSN Nation. Why? Because they're kind enough to give a 10% discount on every reorder for the rest of your life. Get in on things early, ladies and gentlemen. Ground floor, groundbreaking opportunity because it's premium blend coffee, not only beans, but fine ground and Keurig as well. So you got to love it, ladies and gentlemen. And there's merch. And tea is coming later this year. So again, she's expanding rapidly. It's a startup, but we got to show some love from SSN Nation fam. Go over there, order from Professor Auntie Val. Let's see who's in the house, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. Tonight, we do have Professor Auntie Val. She's saying that she can't hear me on this one, but I do see it. Thank you so much for that. And she brings her tagline, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't get into the chat room tonight, there's a reason. You have to have an icon. You have to be a member of the channel on Wednesday night live streams. And Professor, aka Professor, who is Auntie Val, is here. Beachfront Java was the promo. And she brings her tagline this evening. Good evening, fam. And she's showing the heart. She's showing the support with the strength. And, of course, the Beachfront Java cup. No notification from me. Guess YouTube doesn't like me today. No, it could be my fault because this is a story I'm about to tell you is because of this. But I'll get to that story. Can't hear you, Eric. Yes, I know there was an issue, and that's why it rebooted. There you are. Thank you so much. Byzantine Red is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. We're talking about, are you ready to enjoy life tonight? Let me know, you guys. And says, thanks, man. Well, thank you, Byzantine Red. Very, very nice to see you once again. Very happy to see you here. Victor Marrero is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. He has the icon next to his name, and he says his tagline. Hello, all. Let's do this. And he's referring to he's always been enjoying life for a long time. So he's gotten in on this. Are you having fun earlier than later? He's implemented the program, and several of the members here have implemented the program. Why? Because they bought assets when they were younger. That's part of the equation, ladies and gentlemen. That's part of the how. If you want to do it earlier, then you have to start earlier. Investing in assets that pay you. That's the story, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot deviate. You cannot go trust the process. The process is you have to work your ass off. You have to make investments and investments that make money for you. That's the process. So if it's going to take you a little bit longer, you have to save up or whatever your object is, and you're going to be 30 before you get to that, fine. If you're going to be 35, fine. But the point is you have to start working at it sooner than later. All right? So that's part of the story for tonight. Thank you, Victor Marrero, once again for being in the house. Now, I'm going to give you guys the story because this is why I'm talking about this tonight. And the reason why Professor Auntie Val and everybody else did not get any YouTube notifications is because here's the simple story. My brother, actually, on Sunday evening, he says, hey, my ear is hurting. It's like I'm like, you have an ear infection or something? So I'm like, oh, no worries. I have amoxicillin sitting here, so that could help you out. Take care of it. So Monday rolls around, and it's kind of like, okay, hey, how's things going? And he's saying something like, it's not as bad, but I lost my equilibrium. And I'm like, wait, what? And then Tuesday rolls around, and that was last night. But Tuesday rolls around, and he's just literally sitting in the living room. And I'm thinking, okay, are you okay? And then all of a sudden, he's like, can't move. His motor skills are starting to slow down. I'm like, what the heck's going on? But all fairness, he has type 2 diabetes, right? So that's part of this equation. I'm thinking, okay, maybe this has something to do with that. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Late night, last night, all of a sudden I hear this, Eric. And I'm like thinking like, what? Some ghosts are coming out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Eric. And then I'm like, okay. So I get up, go walk around the premises, looking around, and my brother's on the carpet, sitting up. And I'm sitting there like, what's going on? And he's like, I can't get up. I'm like, oh, we got to go to the hospital. But he's like, no, I'm going to just go lay down. Everything's going to be fine. Okay, we go to the hospital this morning. Come to find out, EMTs come. They say something crazy. If anybody knows anything about sugar levels, most people would start thinking there's a problem at maybe 300, maybe 200, maybe 350, maybe 400. So when an EMT comes, you have to be under 200 for normal people, let's just say, right? That's where you need to be. You want to be less than that. But the point I'm trying to make is once you start going over 200, now you got to be like, wait, there's a problem. EMT comes and says his sugar level, glucose level is 800. Needless to say, off to emergency we go, right? So he needs insulin and he needs saline because your body, I learned something new for all you people who may have diabetes. I learned something new. If you find yourself in this situation where your sugar levels are high, what starts happening is you will have to urinate because your body's trying to urinate to remove the sugar. Because that's actually what happened. And I was like, what's going on? And I didn't understand, but that's what your body's supposed to do. And so now it all makes sense. And I was like, wow, this is wild. So I'm thinking there could be life-altering situations just from that, still young and still may not have enjoyed life because he's been working his ass off, been doing other family things. But the point I'm trying to make is You don't want to be in a situation where something that could cause you to not have fun because you waited till you were 65. You waited till what, the 67 years old to retire, and you said, "Oh, I think I'm going to be fine." Well, guess what? He's not 60 nothing. All right. He's not in retirement zone. So therefore, I'm just giving a friendly warning. This is why tonight I brought this up. You ready to enjoy life now? Because again, waiting around saying, "Hey, I'm going to work, I'm going to work, I'm going to work." You never know what's going to happen in your life. Just like that, it can be taken away from you. Superman, Superwoman, you got to be in effect right now. Let's see what we got. FYI, starting Friday from Victor Marrero, 28th of July, Wealthfront will increase their savings account interest rate to 4.0, 4.8. I thought it was at 5.3 already. I thought that matched. Was it? I don't know who has the 5.3. I forget. But if they didn't, this is great news. When you invite someone to join, oh, no other bank offers that in a savings account. I love it. So Victor Marrero's already done the checking. Wealthfront, ladies and gentlemen, there is a link down below in the description. Below the video, in the description, no matter what platform you're on, you will find it. All right? It's there. Look for Wealthfront if you want a savings account, but you want to know what's better than the savings account, kind of better, is they will manage your money. If you have $500 up to $4,999, they manage your money for free. Once it goes over 5,000, now you'll incur their fee to manage, but it's still less than 1%. But the point is, unless they change it, I should check out their fine print. But the point is, check their fine print to see what their management fees are. It might be less than 1%. It might be 1.2%. Who knows? But go look for yourself. The link is down below in the description. So Victor Marrero, thank you so much for letting everybody know about this awesome opportunity if you want to earn 5.3%. This is what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. You can start small. You don't need 20 grand. You don't need 50 grand. You don't need 100 grand. You just need to start small, let your money start working for itself, then add to it. That is the key. And then you'll surprise yourself what'll happen in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And then you'll be like, wait a minute, all I did was put in like $100 every paycheck. Where did I get this $20,000 from? Well, that's because you were investing in vehicles that actually make you money year over year, month after month, and then it compounds. So that's what you need to understand. You just need to start. No debt. I have to go with the Dave Ramsey program. The Roaring 20s, I believe, is coming. The Federal Reserve increased their interest rate just as I suspected this month, 0.25. It's like clockwork. You know what these guys are doing, because if I want to spur the economy, that's what I would be doing. Knowing full well, like I've been saying, at the end of this year, I'm going to start reducing interest rates. That's just T minus 4-5 months. And we're off to the Roaring 20s. Remember, I'm the first you've heard from it. Everybody else was talking 2 years ago when the pandemic. I'm going to take credit for this one. All right. Now, let's see who else is here. James Way is in the house. He's been making preparations. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he has the icon next to his name. And he brings his tagline this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, all. Hard as heck trying to enjoy life while worrying about paying this rent. That's too damn high. Exactly. Very well said once again. James Way with his special trending topic. Always, the rent is too damn high is correct. And how the heck can you enjoy life when I know every live stream I keep saying the same thing? But we have new viewers. 60% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. So James Way is not too far off when he's saying hard as heck trying to enjoy life while worrying about paying this rent. That's too damn high. And what do people mostly think about enjoying life? You know what's funny? Everything that most people think about has to do with spending. It has to do with, oh, I want to go on a vacation. You get nothing in return except you do get a hell of an experience, right? That's good enough, an experience, but you might have thrown out a few $1,000s. that few $1,000s that you thrown out 2 or 3 or 4 times a year, later on, that could be like $800 per month coming to you. I'm just saying, because if you go out 20 years and it reinvests itself, next thing you know, you could have $8,000 a month coming in on the 5 or 6 trips you've taken over the last 2 years, and put that money in something that was earning like 15%, 13% annually, compounding every month or every 3 months. That would be stock dividend investing. So that's what we're talking about here. So very nice, James Way. I appreciate you being here once again. I love the tagline. All right, Victor Marrero says, so glad everything worked out with your brother. Thank you so much. You're so right. All the money in the world doesn't mean anything if we don't take care of ourselves. Exactly, Victor Marrero. Very well said. Remember, we leave this world empty-handed. Very well said again. I love it, because that's what most people, while they're accumulating wealth and accumulating these items, you're like, wait a minute, you're not pharaohs. Remember all the pharaohs in Egypt, the tombs? These guys have armies down there, just like China, right? In Chinese, they believed in afterlife. They built their soldiers with them in clay and put them in a farmer's field, hidden for, I don't know, 1,000 years, maybe 500. I can't remember the actual timeline, but hidden, and a farmer stumbled upon all these statues in a field, just like when the guys from Egypt, the pharaohs of Egypt, were planting chariots and whatever else down there, gold and clothes and all this stuff, thinking they can take it with them. You can't take it with you. That is very well said, Victor Marrero. So you might as well enjoy your life earlier, ladies and gentlemen, but don't be fooled. This is not one of those internet situations. This is not social media where I'm going to tell you you can just wake up and start doing whatever you want on social media, and the next thing you know, you're swishing around the world. It doesn't work like that. There's a process, ladies and gentlemen. No matter who you are, you have to start the process to begin with. And once you reach whatever success level you want to reach, then you can have a little bit of fun, but make sure you get those assets. All right, that's all I'm going to say. But Victor Marrero, very well said. Thank you so much for that. Yes, he's doing fine. His glucose level when I left about an hour and a half ago was at 192. So it's under 200. So they made great progress in one day, but he's also going to be in ICU for the next 48 hours just because safety, and I have no problem with that. So once again, that's why I was a little late, and that's why also the video for the live stream promo, it wasn't up, so therefore it couldn't send out a notification, because I was only able to put it up like 5 minutes before 10 minutes before I started the video. So just so everybody knows. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support again, everyone. And Victor Marrero, I appreciate that sentiment. And very well said. Victor Marrero, the Auntie Val, doing good. Hope everything is well down south. Exactly. Tell me about it. Hot as heck, but we're good. Good to hear that. Very good to hear that, because you know how hot it is. I'm expecting some hurricanes. That's all I'm saying. I don't know where they're going to go, but I'm expecting some things that's going to start popping off here in the next 2 months. And make sure everybody be safe wherever you are. Now, let's get into further items of today, because this is Wealthy Wednesday. And you guys know I have to show it. You know, I just can't let it go. I have to show it. Details from the Federal Reserve July hike and Powell's market moving comments. All right, we're not going to listen to that, but everybody knows, because I did preface this, we are talking about 0.25%, 25 basis points. So notice the 30 stock Dow was up 10 points at 315. Okay, I'm expecting it to stay level. I'm not expecting it to jump off like it's the roaring 20s. Not just yet. But later this year, this is what's going to be so interesting that I find about the stock market. Notice he added 0.25. The stock market was like, okay, cool. We kind of expected it. but it was at, let's just say, I'll give a number. Let's just say it's at 5%. Now it's at 5.2. I'm suspecting in December, they go, we're going to reduce 0.25. It goes back to 5%. So, uh, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I got a back end offer. Hold on a second. All right. So I thought it was like the hospital or something, but it's not. Everything's good. But anyhow, sorry about that. So what I was getting at is funny that when they reduced the interest rate, the federal rate, to 5%, why is there going to be a market run? You know that's what's going to happen, right? So the question is, how was there not a market run, which there kind of was, for when it was at 5%, and why does the 0.25 matter? 0.25 is so negligible unless you're borrowing millions of dollars, then it's not so negligible. So that may have something to do with it. But again, it's not like the stock market is going down. It's not like even home prices are dropping significantly. There's hardly any homes for sale because people went through the Great Recession. So people aren't idiotic. They aren't sitting there saying, hey, I'm going to sell my house that I have a 2.5% note so I can just buy another house that has a 7% note. People aren't that silly anymore. Home prices aren't going to jump up anymore because people aren't selling. So this is the lowest amount of homes for sale, a record, ladies and gentlemen. And I can't blame anybody. You better keep your 7 or your 2.5 or 3.5 or 4.5% interest rate. Why would you move and put yourself in a situation? Because the home prices did not drop like they normally would do. So you are prepared, because remember, here we are at the end of July. Here we are. August is coming up. Remember, I am the one that said, hey, after July, August, think about fall. Home prices should start coming down, but we're nowhere near 40, 50, 60% like it's supposed to be. There's low demand. So it's working in home pricing favor, which is very, very interesting. All right. So I just want to show this real quick about the hike, because we already know this is not even, let's just say this is not even worth mentioning in reality. 0.25 in either direction, other than if it goes down. If it goes down, everybody and their grandma should be putting their money into stocks, and only some of the best stocks. But you're going to lose out if you don't buy dividend stocks right now, because the prices of stocks will rise and the dividend yield will go down for dividend stocks once the price of the stock rises. So you're not going to have a better time to get 14%, 18%, 20% return on your money. The companies that do that normally are in the real estate investing arena, and they win when Federal Reserve rates go down. So if they're going to win, I want them to make more profits. I want to keep getting my returns at 18%, 16%, 15%. We're winning. The only problem, though, is if the Federal Reserve increases their interest rate again, now you might have a situation where some of these companies that do give dividends might go, you know what, it's too costly. We're going to have to either give up our dividends, or we're going to have to figure out something else. We can't pay out what we've been normally paying out in dividends. So these are the type of things you have to think about, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we have right here. Professor Auntie Val, you got that right. My electric bill was $378 for just 2 of us. Jesus, the AC doesn't stop. Energy prices are through the roof here in Florida. I'm ready to move to an island. Victor Marrero. Hey, why not? And energy prices, in fact, it's not just Florida. It's everywhere. That's the funny part, right? It used to be kind of like Florida was off the charts. Then it was like, wait, California, they're off the charts. Then it was like, hold on, Texas, they're off the charts. People all over the United States are getting in on this bandwagon of having to pay more for energy bills. And yes, the island might cost less. And quite frankly, let's just talk about real estate real quick. I'm going to say something that's very, very interesting. Notice most homes in the United States run on central air. Most, not all. Some people have swamp coolers. Some people have in your window AC unit still. But therein lies my point. When you have it through the window, you are losing air as well. None of those are airtight. Now, so you're going to be spending more electricity money anyhow. You're running the AC unit, and then there's some of the ACs going through the little cracks. But that's another story altogether. What I want to get at, though, is since we mostly have central air in a lot of places, even though you might only be in one or two rooms, it's cooling the whole house. You don't need the whole house cooled. So the funny thing is when he says the island, most of the properties on the islands have those built-in coolers, almost like the reverse of a hotel room. Like hotel rooms have their little heaters and coolers on the bottom. And in the Caribbean and a lot in Mexico and in Central America, they have the one that you put on the wall. And you put it up, 6 feet, 7 feet up. Now, but here's the thing. That could be I'm in the living room, so I only have that one on. I'm not in my bedroom. I'm not in the second bedroom, right? So, or the third. So those don't even have to be on. Whereas central heat and air, it's on all the parts of the home. Even if you shut the vents down, it's still blowing. So you're going to have a bill versus. So when he says the island, yes, on the island, like for instance, Dominican Republic, it does cost a little bit more for electricity. But guess what? If you're in America, to you, it's going to be like normal. And in fact, you're going to pay less because you're able to direct which rooms you want to have your AC on. And that's the other thing. They cool so fast because remember, the homes are brick with some with either tile, right? I mean, they're cement with either tile or the backer board, right? So you got to have all these different things. So that actually keeps it cooler. So in American homes, they're generally in a lot of areas, not everywhere, but they are made of, wood. Then you have to put insulation in. Now in Florida, if your house is made of all cement, bricks, whatever, it takes a lot less to cool your home. A lot less. If you had central heat and air, or if you just had any systems that work, it takes a lot less time. So you'll get up to whatever comfortable temperature a lot faster. All right. So yes, this is shocking. 378 is crazy. It's wild. It's wild. Auntie Val, my brother had a similar issue. He thought he just had a bad cold. If he did not go to urgent care for Tamiflu, well, yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of weird. He just thought he was sick. Same thing, same exact thing. Jeez, FPL 379 for July, not just the rent. That's too damn high. Exactly. Now, see, California kid, that's general rule 300 and something is normal. Well, it all depends on the square footage of your house, right? But if you're like 3,500, 4,000 or more, it's going to be in that range. And that's running central heat and air, which is efficient systems. With actually what I love, and they should have in Florida, they should have in the Southeast period, is when they should have a second blower in your house. So you don't have mold and all that because of the humidity levels. I'm surprised they haven't. I know people have the humidifiers, but I'm baffled why they don't do it in other places. Vanessa Comagate is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. She has the icon next to her name, and she also has AKA nickname. She's known as the Seamless Genius. She's here in the house. And she says, hey, boss and SSN fam, hello to you too, Vanessa Comagate. Thank you so much for being here. And also, she reminds me, because she's the Seamless Genius, we were talking about on Monday how to enjoy your life earlier, because we were talking about setting up or discussing elevator repair business in anywhere, any place in the world that's doing pre-construction but we're settling on and talking about in the Dominican Republic. You want to know something very interesting? I searched high, I searched low, I talked to the attorneys. I said, hey, who's doing this in the DR? They come back with nothing so far. I'm like, how do you get certified? How do you get registered? There has to be a central body, right? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Well, actually, I was busy today, so maybe I did get something back. Let's see here. Hold on a second. I haven't checked. Okay, let's see here. Okay, well, I got something back from our favorite attorney in the Dominican Republic, the preeminent attorney, the number one guy, Johan Confidante, one of my attorneys, sent me back something. Yeah, Eric, it's a good niche, man. That's a great idea, but no, there's no training classes that I know of. I can't find any company. There's nothing listed like this. I'm going, oh my God. I'm saying, who certifies this? Who oversees this? So the next call is going to hotels. That's what's going to happen. So tomorrow, when I'm at the hospital, I'm going to be doing some reconnaissance by calling direct and just talking to the GMs and finding out, or the owners or whatever. And I'm going to be like, hey, man, who do you call up when you have to fix your elevator? Do they have special training or licensing? I'm going to have to reverse engineer this thing, because apparently it doesn't even come up anywhere where you just, how do you get certified? How do you get authorization? So far, it just seems like the wild, wild west to me, but I doubt that, because nobody wants to risk lives by being a faulty elevator repair person. That would be kind of whack, right? That'd be really messed up. So there has to be an agency that does this, but it's obscure. It's like, Jesus. So yeah, he has no answer for me. He just agrees with the idea, though. He's like, all right, we can do this, because, he's just an attorney in reality. He knows he'll be setting up that foreign corporation in the DR. So he's like, okay, well, I don't have any info for that really, but, that's what it is. He says there's no institution that does that specific deal that he knows about. He says go with check out a private company, which is great, but I want to have my own company. I don't want to work with or under another company. So I'm trying to find out who does the certifications. Can't find out. It's like a hidden secret, but that secret's going to be unveiled, because that business opportunity is sitting there waiting like golden child, right? It's a little child that you can create, and you're like, it's going to win because there's no competition. It's ridiculous. I don't call, like, even if there was 20 companies on the whole island, that's still no competition. And just like Professor Antival and Vanessa Comagate was talking about on Monday, the fact that we Google and nobody generally seemingly comes up with any clear cut information as far as elevator repair, elevator maintenance, elevator certification, there's nothing that's clear cut. We can find some, but even them, they don't even have websites. Some of them say we only want to allow you to work and sell our elevators. So it's almost like 4 or 5 out of the 17 we found, you have to sell their elevator and then service their own elevators. They're not doing everybody else's. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is if I have to search this hard, that means it's available for making money. So I just want to give everybody a little update on what happened, because yes, I was actually going for it. And we got some other good news as well. Let's go. What's good, sis? I see it. That's for Vanessa Comagate. And then she says, Auntie Val, hey sis, that beachfront Java is good. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 5 stars so far. Everybody's rating it. That whole bean with notes of caramel, cinnamon, all of that is beautiful. All right, got that right. Energy prices are high here in Cali as well. Exactly. It's not going to stop. These energy, that's why people invest in energy companies. It doesn't matter which, well, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter, but I'm just going to leave that alone. But you can invest in energy companies that supply electricity that that give out gas, and they always give out dividends, or used to give out small dividends, but they automatically say we're going to raise our prices 3%. That means 3% more than the previous year, 3%, 5% more than the previous year. Or in some jurisdictions, they go, you know what? We're going to charge you a fee for having our service. Straight out the box, $60 fee, and then whatever you use. That's how some states do it too, which is wild, right? I was like, this is getting crazy right now. All right. Thank you, sweetie. I'm glad you enjoy it. From Professor Auntie Val with the Beachfront Java, ladies and gentlemen. If you missed out on the Beachfront Java link and you joined us late, just go to beachfrontjava.com. Just what you hear. All right. I'm going to put it in the chat room once again, just so who's ever watching this on replay, they can just click it out in the chat room. Just go over there. Make sure you place your first order, and then any order thereafter, you get 10% off. But don't be shy. Send an email, put something in the promo code, so that way you let Professor, Auntie Val, and family know that you're part of SSN Nation, so your account can get coded, so you get 10% off for life, which is what she is doing for us here. Fam, come on now. Let's go show some support. Eric, I am jumping into the option trading ring tomorrow. Okay, I was going to ask you about that because I thought you did it last week. I've been studying this for months. I love what he said, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this right here. This is a perfect example. You ready to enjoy life, but not too soon? He said exactly what he's doing. I've been studying this for months. He didn't do what everybody else does. He didn't sit there and go, oh, day trading or options trading or covered call trading. He didn't sit there and go, well, I think that little 8-hour course and a few hours of paper trading, I'm ready. Let me put my money in. No, 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 ladies and gentlemen. You have to trust a process. But again, he's not saying he took, what was that, studying for months. He didn't say he was studying for 5 years, 10 years, months. It's still great, especially in a market environment, because you don't have that many moves to make if you're doing only certain sectors, like I believe he's doing options, covered calls. So that's one of them, and I think there's another one. But nonetheless, thank you for that. I am using a relative safe strategy called the wheel strategy. Very simple. It takes money to make money. There we go. He went start with the simple platform for him. Some people would say, I don't want to be simple. I want to go for the gusto. I want to take a higher risk. But Victor Marrero, he's been around the block several times. He's saying, I'm going to trust my process. I'm going to learn and make sure I have this down pat, because in the long run, I'm going to be enjoying life, having fun with life, and making money when I want to. That is the key right there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Victor Marrero, for letting us know. Hopefully it all starts off on a positive note and continues. So keep us posted. This will be very, very interesting. Vanessa Comagate says that Victor Marrero, good luck. Professor Auntie Val chimes in as well. You go, Victor. I'm sure you're going to kill it. Exactly. That's right. He studied. He's ready. He feels confident, comfortable as well. Vanessa Comagate from Victor Marrero. I can't even imagine the prices in Cali with all the taxes and fees that most of the time you have no idea what they are. Everybody's trying to get in your pocket. I am sick of it. Yes, Victor Marrero. We talked about this for the last 5 years. And here we are. Because remember, I said 4 years ago, I said, guys, things are going to cost a lot more. If you want to call it inflation, you can call it inflation. If you want to call it the cost of living, you can call it that. If you want to call it companies are going to raise their prices and they're going to make more money because inflation kicked in, you can call it whatever you want. But all you have to really remember is the value of the dollar decreases every day. Therefore, the cost of items have to go up every day. It might not just be that car that you want to buy. It might not be that house that just went up today, but you go to a grocery store, prices went up. You go get some gas, prices could possibly have went up. You check your electric bill, prices have gone up. They're not going to be the same from 4 years ago. You have to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to be ready to enjoy life, you have to set in motion assets that pay you. There's no way around this. This is a simple configuration here. Buy a business, start a business, like Professor Auntie Val, Vanessa Comegate, Seamless Genius. Do something that you love to do, like Victor Morel's doing. Because then it's not even a job if you love what you're doing and still making fun and still being able to have more than one egg in a basket. So you want to diversify. You have to start having fun because you have the real estate that's giving you a return. You have the stock market that's giving you return. You have dividends that's giving you return. Hell, you might even have a savings account with Wealthfront that you're taking that 5% annually, compounding it over years, right? You have all these opportunities out here. But the problem is it's costing you more debt-wise. So now you have to do the Dave Ramsey. You have to pretty much shut off debt. The roaring 20s is coming, which means, yes, I know people are going to be getting more debt. Credit card limits are going to be increased. Home prices are going to go higher because now the interest rate's lower. It's going to be off the charts. But there's one thing that you still cannot avoid. You can only buy generally one house. You can generally buy one car, two cars, but how much money are you going to have coming in from other sources? That's what's going to be the major thing right here, ladies and gentlemen, in the roaring 20s. It's what you save is going to matter most, because I have news for everybody. At the end of the roaring 20s, it's going to be the 30s. You guys all know what started happening after 1929, 1930. It was the Great Depressions. That era kicked in with the vengeance because they devalued the currency for 6-7 years. Same thing's going to happen here. Just be wary of this. So that's why while you're doing the roaring 20s, you want to make sure you're tucking money away. The duffel bag of cash gets bloated, and you want to pull strings on assets. And I'm going to tell you guys a dirty little secret. Here's how assets work. So right now, somebody's holding assets. All right. They have locked in maybe interest only note for 10 years. Who knows? They bought something for $8 million. Well, after 5 or 6 years, while its roaring 20s are happening, that asset isn't being updated, remodeled. And the problem is now the bones look nice, but the infrastructure is messed up, and the cost to redo the infrastructure has now skyrocketed. Worth more than the buildings, right? So now the person is holding a note, but he can't make more money because now he's getting people saying, hey, this is garbage. And now people don't want to buy it, and he's losing revenues all at the same time. So this is what's going to happen. You can always win no matter what. So be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, after the roaring 20s. But then remember that duffel bag of cash. Have that on standby while you're roaring through the 20s, while you're getting all this money, which brings me up to congratulations to another SSN Nation member who purchased at Ansaya at Aldea, which is downtown condo, pre-construction condo in Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. I want to give everybody a big shout out to another member of the SSN Nation fam who invested, yes, at Ansaya with our man, Nestor Leftfield. So congratulations. Welcome to the Dominican Republic real estate investing game. Now, there was a question that came up. Vanessa Comegate, once again, says for Victor Morel, facts, Victor, makes you want to live on the land somewhere. Tell me about it. That's another option. This is why we talk about discount lots. Land modo, where you can have no credit, no qualifying. Somebody will let you make a down payment and make monthly payments, and you have acreage. 1 acre is all you really need, but you want to make sure you have electricity on it, water on it. Sewer would be nice, but if you don't, some people say, well, then I'll just park my RV up in here, okay? Because then it's mobile, right? At least you're on the land. Some people I've seen some stuff on YouTube where people basically bought land and they literally put a 10 out there. Literally. I was just like, okay, this is interesting. I don't know how the zoning and all that's going to handle it, but hey, it's out in the middle of nowhere right now, so nobody cares. I mean, I've seen all kind of things where people are like, I'm off grid. It's doable. That, in fact, that's going to be a thing. Quite frankly, it's already a thing, but it's going to get worse because of the amount of homeless people that will occur. That's right. The roaring 20s still had the haves and the have-nots. Who do you think's roaring? Those that are holding the assets. What part of the population holds the most assets? The top 10%. They hold the most wealth. So their assets, when it's roaring, they're going to earn 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 times the amount of wealth. That leaves 90% of the population, well, fending for themselves. Now that remaining 90%, you're going to have another 10 to 15% that's going to be fine. But there's going to be like 50% of the population that's going to be kicking dollar bills, not literally because we'll be digital, but I'm just saying. All right. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you have to start saving early, making investments early. Like I told my friends when I was 20 years old, when I was 22 years old, and they were all looking at me like, Eric, what are you doing? What's happening? I'm like, hey, I can't go play hoops. I can't go play basketball. I can't go play football. I can't go play soccer. No, sorry guys. I got a business meeting. I got to go. What do you mean? You're 17 years old. What business? What do you mean? You're 18. What business? What? You're 20. What business? Cut it out. No concept. But getting assets early changes lives. So even if you're older and you have children or grandkids, let them know. Try to get them involved into starting their own, because that's what it may come down to, because top 10 percenters are going to be way out there on the assets a curve, and everybody else has to work for the remaining available assets. It's going to be crazy. All right. Facts. Victor, makes you want to live on the land somewhere. Exactly. That's exactly right. I am starting the options trading with the ETF QQQ. Very nice. NASDAQ 100. The fund also has dividends. I like that, Victor Morrell. You know I love dividends, especially in this market. We love dividends. All right. Years ago, I lived in an old house that had a swamp cooler. That was great. There you go, Vanessa Comagate. There we go. Some people don't even know what swamp coolers are, but hey, they work. They work. They just work a little bit differently. And once you get used to it, you're like, feels nice and good in here. Right. And it costs less, by the way, too. Vanessa Comagate, I did some research. It's difficult for most to pass the certification test. All right. Vanessa Comagate is talking about certification for the elevator repair maintenance industry, I hope. But here's the question. Did you find anything on Dominican Republic that does certification or testing? That's the $1 million question, because I can find it in the United States. But the question then turns into, if you're certified in the United States, can you use that in the DR? Highly unlikely. So I kind of like poo-pooed that thought. And I was like, nah, I'll just go direct, because I don't want to hear anything about, well, you're a foreign country or foreign company, so therefore we don't want to work with you, or your license is no good here. I was like, let me do this in DR. And so far I haven't found it. So let me know if that's what you're talking about. I'm hoping you said that. I'm like, where? Please tell me. The only thing I can find is the embassy, and that doesn't help me. That's why there is a shortage. Exactly. But Vanessa Comagate, please, I know you know the answer. Let me know what you're referring to on this, because this is very important. Let me know if you're talking about you found something on Dominican Republic, the island. Let me know, because that's what I want, actually, because I want the authority from the government or the county or the city that stamps it, just like in America, that they say, okay, you're authorized. You can go do whatever you need to do, or you have the certification. Your elevator repair techs have their certification. That's what I want to be able to set up, because I think we can go A to Z. I think you're going to be able to do the training and get the certification, which would make things, oh, that'd be sweet, right? Since there's a shortage, now everybody's going to train, but they're going to work for us. That's all I'm saying. We're training them, working for us. You can come in here and train and pay us, but hey, I'm trying to get people that's going to work for us. We're going to take over if I have my way about it. I'm just saying, because I see a wide open niche. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to look deeper into at the hotels and projects. I want to find out who they're calling. That's what I really want to know. Sis, would love your feedback on the clothing site. Need a female opinion. AuntieValsCloset.com for the female clothing site that she has started. So everybody can go check that out too. AuntieValsCloset.com. All right. At Auntie Val, your clothing site is up. I did not know that, sis. Absolutely. Okay. Yep. Just testing, but it is live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go check it out yourself. It does have female clothes. That doesn't mean anything. We have female viewers here. Go over there and check it out. Or we have male viewers who do buy for their significant other, wife, girlfriends, whatever. Hey, surprise. That works sometimes. I mean, you have to order online. Sizes could vary. But nonetheless, I'm just saying, surprise is good. Bearing gifts is good. Auntie Val, what's the name? That's it. Auntie Val's Closet. That's what it is. Auntie Val's Closet. I look at so many clothing sites. That's a complicated. Auntie Val's Closet. All one word. Exactly. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Chat room. Closet.com. So if you can see the chat room, you can click on that. It takes you there. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. Jaway J, who's enjoying himself in the Dominican Republic as we speak. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And now I have to get a little bit excited. He has the icon next to his name. But the reason I'm getting excited, he's in the DR. He could actually do a little research for the SSN fam. We're still looking. It's not easy to find. Elevator repair certification, the government, somebody who certifies it in the Dominican Republic, and he says his tagline, hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Yes, Jaway J, hopefully everyone is doing well. Hopefully you're doing well and having a great time over in the DR. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Vanessa Comagate, she says, Auntie Val got it. Beautiful. All right. Nothing but love. Nothing but love, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Here we go. Auntie Val, I checked your site. Send me your email. I have some suggestions. Very well said. Thank you for that. No, boss, I did not. I checked in USA for training schools. Yes, in the USA, it was off the charts. There was some things like 4 months, years. It was all over. I don't know if it depended on which state, but insurance companies did it, authorized it, certified, said you're good to go. There's a bunch of ways you can do it. I found that in the USA as well. That I found. And yes, it wasn't like I can just open up shop tomorrow. That was for sure. So that was very interesting. So we did see some of the same things. I do know what you're talking about. Will do from Professor Auntie Val. I would check the MIA area for skilled techs. Oh, Miami area for skilled techs. There's a strong Dominican community here. Thank you so much for that suggestion. Hold on. Where's my pen and pad? I have a pen. Where's my pen at? Okay. No pen here today. That's interesting. All right. No pen. Oh, yes, here it is. Okay. So I got to write this down. Because she is right. Didn't occur to me. Miami. All right. Dominican. Yep. I agree. All right. Skilled techs. I like it. I like it. Maybe I could go there. That makes sense. Latin community, Latin area. We'll see if I can get something tied down some way, because actually this is worth going over and doing the process, ladies and gentlemen. Whether it actually ends up happening or not, I'm still going through the process. We're going to find out, because we're going to exhaust all avenues, because if there's a way to make it happen, then it's a gold mine. Clearly. Auntie Val, prints are awesome, but need a choice of longer dresses. There we go. I agree, says Professor Auntie Val. Very nice. Very nice. There we go. Everybody else, if you want to chime in with some, critique, um, good well wishes, anything that you think about Auntie Val's Closet website that could be improved, let her know. This is what makes the top 10% the top 10%. They listen to somebody else. That's simple. You ready to enjoy life? Then you have to do something. Auntie Val says, you know what? I'm not just going to start the coffee company, the Beachfront Java. I'm going into Auntie Val's Closet. And oh, by the way, I have some other things on burners, Eric. I'm pretty sure she does. She's making it a habit this year to actually put in businesses. And again, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, number one is businesses. The top 10 wealthiest people on the planet, 10 of them. Warren Buffett is the only one, but he owns companies too, so I have to lump them in. But they all do the same thing. The top 10 people own companies. That's it. They own companies. They're not in anything special here. They own companies. That tells you all you need to know. You need to own companies. That way you have profits coming in and you can parlay owning companies with that stock. You guys know about stock. That's how most of their wealth is created, based on their stock price. So that's a win for you all the time. We'll share more with you via email. Can't give away secrets. I see. Seamless Genius at it again, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason she's called Seamless Genius, I'm telling you. She'll come up with twists and turns to generate revenue that's nobody's thinking of. She's playing chess out here, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of love. You can get it from Eric. There you go. All right. Oh, yes. I wonder if USA rules differ from the DR rules for certification. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to find out. But the problem is I can't find out in the DR who's the authority that handles certification or allows somebody to have a license as a company to be in the elevator business. It almost looks like it's a wide open event. I don't get it. Eric, check out Dominican Today under tourism tab. The president, Luis Abinader, has a target to achieve at least 10 million tourists in 2023. Loving the at least. It can blow up higher. It's going to blow up higher. Well, I want to be optimistic, but I'm also realistic, because I think in October or September, I'm anticipating some winds are going to blow by the island. And I'm hoping it misses. If it misses, then it's 10 million this year. He's right. It's going to reach 10 million. What he's basing it on, just so everybody knows, the 10 million number, he's basing it on cruise and air visitors. So in the first 6 months, they got 5 million combined. So all it really takes is, in the next 6 months, 5 million combined. Well, they've opened up a couple new cruise ports, and some of the cruise lines actually added on like 5 more trips per week. So that's going to increase the cruise line by itself. The cruise is probably going to do 2 million by themselves the next 6 months, because they already did 2 million the first. And then all that needs to be done is 3 million by air in 6 months. And they should be breaking their July record. It should be over 700,000. I'm pretty confident they're going to break the record this summer. It might even reach 800,000, which would make this incredible. That would put it at 4.8, almost 4.9 air passengers after 7 months. That would give an average of 700,000 for 7 months. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know how significant this is? You don't if you're new here. And I'm going to repeat it for all those who are in the Punta Cana or the Eastern region. In Cap Cana, it doesn't matter where you are. Bahibe, La Romana, as long as you're in this sector. 60% of all air passengers land at Punta Cana Airport. So that gives you an idea. 4.2 landed and came through Punta Cana Airport. That is significant. 4.2 potentially in the first 7 months. That's significant, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about almost 100,000 visitors coming through per week. This is how close we're getting to this. And next year in 2024, it's going to happen because Luis Abinadar is doing the damn thing. All right. And Victor Morell's right. At least they are going to reach 10 million when you add the crews involved. They will. And airlines have added additional flights as well. So they're probably going to reach it. Now, we will see. Auntie Val is on fire. Exactly. She's handling biz in the year that counts. The Roaring 20s is coming and she's taking full advantage. I love it. You better believe it. Got to be different. Exactly. Have to be. Got to get that duffel bag of cash to settle in DR with the fam. Auntie Val, there we go. Exactly. Come on over to the family plots all over the place. All right. At Auntie Val, that coffee on the beach is it, sis. Create an experience. Hey, that also is awesome. Nobody does that, I don't think. In fact, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I know nobody does that. I'm like, there are theme places, but what the women came up with is ingenious. Seamless Genius and Professor Auntie Val. Imagine. In fact, I guess I got to do this. Why don't I just do this? Show some love this way. I'm going to go. Let me see here. Let's see. This is for Silverman Fox, in case he missed us on Monday. Here goes something, Silverman Fox, right here. Waterfrontlandbargain.com. 10 acres of water, new cabin package, only $99,900 on a lake. 1 day only, Saturday, August 5th. And this is in Tennessee. Now, do your due diligence, because generally when there's things in Tennessee in the middle of nowhere, there's generally middle of nowhere. All right. It's going to take years to build it out. And I don't mean 3 or 4. I don't mean 5. I'm talking about 15 to 20. All right. So just keep that in mind. But this is cheap as hell. $99 for 10 acres and a cabin on the lake. If the cabin's included, that would be a spectacular deal. And you would be at the cheapest point ever, because once it starts getting built out, there's no way anybody can replicate this. The land itself is going to be worth more than 100 G's, especially if they give out 10 acres with water access. Come on, let's get real. If it boomed, things would jump off. All right. So I was going to go somewhere and I forgot where I was going. Beachfront car. Was I going to Beachfront Java? Maybe I was. Oh, yes, I was going to Beachfront Java. This is Professor Auntie Val's website that I'm about to go to. But here's what their idea is. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I got to go. Choose your blend. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Go over here. Order up. Look at this. Okay, I can't. So when you see blondes have more fun, a blend of Central American and African espresso beans. Nice. Let's go with Brewmeister's blend. Bourbon barrel before roasting. Bourbon blend. Let's go down here with some other ones. Campfire brew. That's the one I like. Cocoa and caramel notes. Cinnamon Kiss has the cinnamon notes. And even cold brew. I forgot all about cold brew, ladies and gentlemen. You want that cold brew coffee? There you go. Jazz on the Beach. Dark chocolate, molasses, and brown sugar notes. See, this is what I'm talking about. Cream and sugar over here with Mama's Morning Blend. Brown sugar notes, caramel, spice. Perfect with cream and sugar, actually. It's brown sugar, spice, and caramel notes. That's Mama's Morning Blend. This is what I'm talking about. Salted caramel for Island Time. They come in 1995. I believe that's going to be our drip ground. And I mean our, right? Like it is SS and Fam. So we're talking like the other part to this is she has whole beans. So that might be a little more, ranging from $24.95 to $26, $27.95. The beauty is, order now. Your next order will be 10% off, and the next one after that, 10% off, and the next one after that. The first order, unless you already pre-ordered before July 3rd, then you automatically going to have the 10% off. So your next order would be 10% off. But everybody who has never ordered, this is what you have to do. Order now. Support our own Professor Auntie Val. Now look at this. Look at this. Melting pot American Espresso. Ready, set, go. Extra caffeine boost. So she has expanded her horizons and free shipping, US only. What more can you ask for? And if some of you need payment plans, that's right, you can order. In fact, why don't I just click on something here? Why don't we just do this, right? Look, 12 ounce for Cinnamon Kiss, 1 pound, this is fine ground, 2 pounds, 5 pounds. There we go. And notice 4 interest-free installments for orders over $50. So you can get 2 or 3, and that's 12 ounces for the fine ground. But here's the 1 pound. I'm going to go over here. Drip ground, $23.36 for the Cinnamon Kiss. Then 2 pounds, then 5 pounds. So here's 5 pounds, $73. Meet your payment requirements, or just pay the whole $73.58. Free shipping. There you go, in the USA. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just giving you a little show of how it's done. All right. And the idea is this. All right. You have to understand. Notice how they had different blends. So imagine you have your own little cafe, but the blend is the person or area that the beans are from. Central America, Africa, and imagine somebody comes out in that genre, right? That would be beautiful. Speaking the language as well, that would be awesome. They have a great idea. It's beautiful. Somebody bringing you the pot, giving it to you, and they're dressed in the country's traditional garb of something, or however they want to do it. It's a beautiful idea. You could have, at one location, you're going to have somebody from Central America. You're going to have somebody from Honduras, Peru, Indonesia, all in one spot. And people are ordering these different ones. And people are like, wow, she's wearing something different. Wow, these look at, whoa, what is this? What's going on here? And of course, we start thinking women think guys. Guys think women. Either way, it works, right? The guys would be awesome, right? For the women, they'll be like the guys out there in the whatever. If we go Euro, they're in Speedos. That'd be risque. But they have these nice little bodies, I would take it. And then they're dressed in whatever they're dressed in, delivering this coffee. They have it figured out. I don't. All right. I'm the guy. I'm thinking, oh, a woman's going to go out there with their whatever, looking nice in whatever they decide to put on them. All right. Just like back in the old days, you guys remember, well, if you're familiar with Vegas, back in the old days, it was all about showgirls, and the waitresses used to wear sexy, skimpy outfits as well. So that's what is something similar to what they were coming up with. And it's very good thinking, actually. That coffee on the beach is it, sis. Create an experience. That's what she's talking about. The experience, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. It'd be so sweet, right? That's a pretty good idea. Need the Ukraine, Victor Morel, and Russia crazy war to be over now. That's right. DR used to get thousands of Russians, Ukrainians every year. Exactly. 200,000 to be exact between the two countries, 200, 220, 200. And in fact, if there was no war, there'd be more. Russia and Ukraine increased their flights to the DR last year before the war. And then, of course, when the war broke out, nobody's coming, right? So it would have probably increased to probably 300,000 to 350,000, which would be adding to these totals about 10 to 20,000 per month additional. That's how crazy this is. Actually, I'm wrong about that. It'd add about 20,000 per month additional people onto their numbers. That starts being significant. Just think about it, because that would get them to it would be over 10 million easily if you had the extra 240, 350,000. Because then even if they would have felled 9.8, those extra 200 to 300,000 would have brought them over 10.1, 10.2. But they're not going to fall short. without them. But imagine when they come back in and these guys actually get their infrastructure back, and now 300 to 400,000 Russians, Ukrainians are coming into the DR. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Oh, I missed something here. I saw something here. They also got a bunch from France, but the current unrest can have an impact. It does. It does have an impact from that region. All right, Jaway J. They may have some information on certification. Okay, Jaway J. Who are we referring to? Please let me know. Did I miss a message here somewhere? Who has it? I've been looking all over in DR. I even got in touch with lawyers saying, hey, what's going on with this elevator certification? You guys represent any of these companies? They're like, no. In fact, so far, nobody, no lawyer, that is, has come up with who does the certifications or anything. I'm just like, okay, we'll keep looking. We'll get closer to the source in the next, by Friday, because I'm going to be calling hotels and I'm going to ask them who does theirs. And I want your business. How about that? I'm going to act like I'm in business. I want your business. What does it take? And I'm hoping they say, well, it'd be nice if you can get here within a day or two. I'm hoping they say something like that. It'd be nice if you got here within a week or within 2 weeks, because every time our elevator comes out, we call somebody, but they can't come out here for a week or two later. That's what I want to hear, because then I know it's on. It's on. I'm going to figure this out. I'm thinking I'm going to hear that. They have some information on certification. Who is they, Jaway J? I missed your message. I need to know who they are. Let's see here. I missed your message. Let's see. All right. Any type of food or drink in vacay spot is a winner if done right. Exactly, Vanessa Comingate. It's all about presentation, delivery. Jazz on the beach is delicious. Vanessa Comingate showing some love for the jazz on the beach. There we go. None but love from Professor Auntie Val. Okay, imagine someone bringing you a pot of coffee in the beach playing jazz. That works. Jazz on the beach. I like it. That's what I'm saying. You can play this several different ways. I love it. I see it already. Exactly. I could see somebody, doing the horns or whatever, or beautiful blonde man or woman bringing you coffee, serving blondes, have more fun. Exactly, Vanessa Comingate. See, this is what I'm saying. See, this opens up a whole franchise, quite frankly. If you want to go that route, that creates a franchise, because I don't think anybody's doing anything like that. And everybody likes coffee. And the fact she has cold coffee as well, so it works in all climates. If you're in a warm climate and somebody says, well, you know what, I don't want a hot coffee. Do you have anything cold? Yes, we have our cold brews. Then somebody in a cold climate says, hey, I don't want cold brew. Do you have any hot coffee, hot tea? We got you. So I look at it that way. It's both men and women. We don't want discriminate dress tastefully. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking you're going to go overboard the old Vegas way. I'm thinking you're going to be a little more classier, because you can be. It's not going to be about that. The experience, like I said, the colorful dresses, I'm thinking wherever you're from, when you order it, or you can go the route of music, whatever you want. Mama's, whatever, Brewmeister. I mean, the one with the barrel of oak. I mean, you can figure out all kind of things to promote. Dressed in appropriate beachwear. This is upscale, baby. I like it. I'm not mad at you about that. Give it a little flair like that. That even makes it even better, because on the beach, everybody is skimpy, right? So it'd make it even better if people show up well dressed. I like that idea. Seamless genius. Once again, we don't have to imagine it. We can make it happen in DR. The bonus will be a nice massage on the same beach. Victor Morel, now he's getting the idea already to expand the franchise. I love it. Absolutely. It's simple. Just open a coffee shop. It's the experience on the beach. Exactly. That'd be the talk of the town, quite frankly, because nobody's ever done any. I don't. Well, maybe. I mean, coffee is all over the world. I mean, #1 selling product in reality. Somebody might have thought of this already, but something tells me I doubt it. That would be sweet. They will make the people talk, and boom, there's your marketing. Exactly. This is social media era. People are going to be showing it on their social media. It's like, hey, this is wherever it is. This is where we're at. Check this out. Have you ever seen this before? And then I better have that franchise situation in place, because I know people are going to be calling up saying, hey, I want to do this. I'm in Greece. I want to do this. I'm in Costa Rica. I want to do this. I'm in Brazil. I want to do this. I'm in Mexico. I want to do this. Are you franchising this? I'm in SoCal. I want to do this. Right? I mean, you know what's going to happen. I'm in Miami. I want to do this. It's going to be off the charts. I like that idea too. Two great ideas. Two great ideas. I love it. Absolutely 100. Yes, franchise. And I want in. Exactly. Exactly. Because you know what's going to happen. Because I don't think there's anybody doing this. And the reason why nobody's doing it is because, let's just face facts. When you order your drink from the location has no vested interest. They're just going to have a server come and serve it to you. But either you have to set it up with the establishment or you have to create somewhat of your own. But the first one, you can always partner, then everybody else has the franchise. But either way, we can get there. You can get there, right? You're serving my coffee. I want to be able to do this. So you don't really even have to own it. But the people look, here's one thing that you're going to have to learn, ladies and gentlemen. Just like a person that does demonstrations at Sam's Club, at Costco, they might not be getting paid that much. But the fact of the matter is people are there looking at that item. And then when they go home or a week later or 2 weeks later, they're like, hold on, I'm going to order this. Same thing happens. Somebody sees whatever they see out there representing this coffee line. Do you think the proprietor or the owner of the establishment that sells your coffee is going to be mad at you for bringing in help to dress up and help them sell your coffee? I don't think so. The benefit from you is they're going to be ordering more coffee because you move more coffee at their establishment. And so now people are going to, the wind is going to start picking up. Anyhow, that's one way we can go. So keep there going. All right. He says, Eric, you skipped some chats. Okay. I got to go back, ladies and gentlemen. I looked for Jawway J. So that means I missed something. They may have some information. Okay. Let's see. Where is it? I must have skipped it. I can't find it, Jawway J. Eric, I'm open to option trading, Auntie Val's, Victor Marrero, James Way, Byzantine, Red. No, I don't see him. Nothing. Nothing, Jawway J. Nothing. The only one I have from you is this. So yeah, I don't see anything else. I'll keep looking. Let me come back down to where you were saying. Let's see here. No, then the next message is this one. So I don't have it. Oh, hold on. If you put a link in there, it won't show up. I forgot. There's certain things that won't show up. You can't put you can't put in like .com or .net or anything like that in there. If that's what you did, it wouldn't show up. You'll see it, but it won't show up to me or anybody else. Any type of food or drink in Vacay Spot is a winner. Yes. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go down a little further. I want the franchise. And then this is where I see you next. So yeah, if you put a link in, you must have put a link or something in there. Or it's recognizing some wording or something that blocks it. So I can't see it because she has a theme, Beachfront Java. Exactly. Exactly. One hell of a name. No, you have to set up the coffee shop. The money is in the coffee. Vanessa Comagate says the money's in the coffee. Set up a coffee shop. Well, see, therein lies one of the problems. Well, not really problem, but you're going to have to get a coffee shop. Are you going to get a coffee shop on the beach? That's the thing. Let me know. Or are you going to rent out a space on the beach? But moving the coffee is still the same. But I do understand your point. I want to move the coffee. So whether I bring out my guys just for the day of activity to move some coffee and get promo, I'll do that. But in the meantime, am I going to have to buy something I can't do Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale Beach, Delray Beach, nothing like that. It's going to be arm and a leg. So that is the next hurdle. How do we get a coffee shop on the beach for Beachfront Java at a reasonable rate? Own the building, that would be costly. So that's the actual next step. I'm sure Seamless Genius is going to have a plan for us, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to find out. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. You pay the servers well because they are creating an experience. Yes, exactly. 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 It's going to be one hell of an experience if that happens. So now Victor Marrero says, I guess it's time we do more at the DR. Victor Morel's like, hey, Eric, you know they have beachfront spots for businesses in the DR that you can actually get. He has a point. In fact, there's some the way the DR is structured, they actually have like little places, like when you go to Macau, they have their own little selling stands there. When you go to El Cordacito, Los Corrales, there's places that you walk down towards the beach, and on each side is shops and restaurants, right? So there are places already that exist that are allowed to be rented, so to speak, or possibly buy. Who knows? But good idea. It's doable. So we'll see how this all works out. I like that thought. I like it. I like it. So two great thoughts this past week. Money Making Monday, Wealthy Wednesday live stream. You want a president of the DR and can wholesale it to the beachfront resorts. That would be nice. That would be nice. I like it. Jaway J, I was saying, FAMA Elevator and Sigma Elevator may have some information on certification. Thank you. That one I missed. Okay. FAMA. All right. Elevator. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe this can narrow it down. The man's on the island. Maybe he can help us out. Maybe we can make this happen. We will see. Thank you for that. Your coffee. Okay, your coffee, your servers. The resorts pay you for the coffee and servers. Why not? That's possible. Possible. But remember, I look at it a few different ways, because if it's my coffee, my servers, but what about the other competitors? And you're a resort. They're not going to sell competitor. I think they're going to sell what somebody really may know about or want when they order it, right? I don't think you're going to get exclusivity is what I'm trying to say. So it'll be very interesting. I'm sure Seamless Genius in her chess moves, she can figure out how to make it work and benefit the location, the business, and everybody. But on the surface, I am just talking. So we'll see. Your coffee, your servers, the resorts pay you for the coffee and servers. I like it. I like it. Your coffee shop can be anywhere in the DR. It can be a hole in the wall. Yes, it could be. Very well said. Exactly. So we got to get the servers. I like this idea. I like the concept. Trying to put it all together. We have the women in the house tonight. The professor, Seamless Genius, playing chess. They will probably maneuver this into position to where it benefits them and everyone else and make it work. I already know. It might be coming also, ladies and gentlemen, worldwide. How sweet would that be? Because that would be a phenomenon. That'd be so awesome. All right. We're in 1 hour, ladies and gentlemen, and past 1 hour. So you know what that means. It's time for, I'm going to play this video because I told you who's showing up sometime after the first week. I'll go August 7th through the 14th. I'll use that time frame. We're going to have one person from this table that's going to be here. Let me see if I can find it. He's going to be here talking about business. So we're going to be talking with him. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. Please share the videos. Never know what you miss. But tonight, are you ready to enjoy life? Start having fun enjoying life earlier than later, ladies and gentlemen. You never know when your health may fail you. This is why your health is your wealth. This is what you do earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go.
People call me the champ. That's not true. I'm a champ a long time ago. This is the champion, David Chu. Say hello.
David Chu.
Hello, everyone. Tell us what's the tournament that you just won a ridiculous amount of money in?
Well, what's the WPT?
Yeah, WPT where? How much did you win? 3.4. 3.4 million dollars. David Chu just came home with. You're amazing. Amazing. Yes, let's give a hand for David Chu. We have David Chu here. Just won $3.4 million. Can you break it 24 minutes? How we doing? How's the table? Oh my God, Brett Butler's here. Brett Butler and I have a lot of history. He's the man who got absolutely no cards at the final table when we were together. It was unbelievable. I got so unbelievably lucky, and he got nothing sick. It was really sick. This man should have won a hell of a lot more money. But how much did you win at the World Series, David? 3.2. For real? He won $3.2 million, and he got absolutely no cards. Got completely screwed, and I felt really bad, but it's not that bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. You're playing against Glenn Turman, who's one of my old clients. Glenn is one of the great actors of our time. Glenn's been nominated for an Emmy this year for his HBO movie. You got to come and talk to Glenn. You didn't recognize Glenn Turman that you're sitting next to? Crazy. I'm so sorry.
Oh, hiding out on me, man. Oh, my goodness.
Of course. Glenn, I miss you so much. Everybody, we have Glenn Turman in the house, everybody. Tell us about the movie that you're doing. You just did great feel. You're nominated for an Emmy this year.
Well, HBO put me up for a nomination.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Rhett Butler, he's coming into the SSN Nation to discuss business matters, not just poker. In fact, we might not even talk about poker, but it's business. This is SSN Nation to help you, ladies and gentlemen. He started his clothing business, Brick and Mortar. I'm horrified. In Virginia, selling men's clothing first, tweaked it a little bit, said, hey, hold on, you better start selling women's clothing. You know what moves. So he added that line, some tennis shoes and other things. We'll talk about his William and Mary. That's right. I call it William and Mary. But anyhow, that gives you an idea of where it is. So that's a college, by the way. All right. So we'll be talking with him about his clothing business. We'll talk a little about poker a little bit, but we'll be talking about money management, starting a business, brick and mortar, directly from the guy's mouth. He'll be here in the house in August, the second week, most likely, somewhere between the 7th and the 14th. All right, let's see what we got here. Your coffee shop can be anywhere. This is true. And she says, Rome wasn't built in a day, boss. You got that right. That's why we're talking about you got to go through the process. Exactly, Professor Montivez. Exactly. Wow, that's crazy. They would announce how much they won. Hey, there you go, Vanessa Comegate. Back in the day. Okay, look. I got to tell you how it used to be, right? This is why you could say such things. So let's say you win. All right. Here's the beauty. They had to change laws on this. Imagine you win and they say, let's just say you won $100,000. They don't give you cash back. They give you chips. It's not traceable. You don't have to report to the IRS as a transaction. You take the chips, you put them in the safe. Yeah, you got money. You didn't withdraw it. Now, whenever you play in the casino, you can just say, hey, I need 8 G's, 9 G's. I mean, you cash in your chips. It doesn't create any reporting situation. In fact, you can cash in for 20 G's. It won't matter. You're the casino. They'll report the 20 G's. They used to not. Now they do. So there was ways around it. So that's why they used to all say, notice lately, when they do deals, they don't tell people what they do deals for. They'll say the winner is supposed to get, like this year, what was it, 10 million, 12 million? But you don't really know what they did. But they're probably still going to get paid in chips. And so the big boys usually leave our money in the safe at the casino. So we don't have to declare it. So we can say we won 12 million, but the government doesn't know. I don't have to even report it because I don't have it in cash. It wasn't transferred into cash. It's beautiful. That's why they used to say how much they won. But the laws changed. They changed laws in like 2009, 10, somewhere in there, where they made it just like you take 10,000 out, they report to the government. So, but there's still ways around it. It's gambling. Come on. It's gambling. 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 Geez, I should have hung out at the poker rooms. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, it was that was so funny because at one time people were like, "Oh, poker player, whatever." It's always you used to walk around and people were like had no clue because it was like, who thought you winning 1 million, 2 million, 500 G's, stuff like that? Nobody thought anything about it. They all thought, these guys are degenerate gamblers. They stay up all night. Because remember, if you play professional poker, there's only 20 to 25 hands per hour that is played. So you're folding a lot of the time. And so, I mean, dealt, not hands played, 20 to 25 hands dealt. How many hands are you going to play out of that? 5, 7? I mean, per hour. So you have to be at the casino like hours if you're going to play poker for a living. So nobody thought it was glamorous anything until ESPN showed up and Moneymaker won. And then the next thing you know, it's off to the races in the early 2000s. So that's the story and how it all blew up, where they had thousands of people in tournaments. I played in a tournament that had like, it's not a record any longer, but it had like 7,000 people in at the World Series of Poker. It was crazy with rebuys. So even if you killed somebody, they can come back, go rebuy. It was crazy. Ends up like 12,000 buy-ins or something crazy. Running through that whole group was hard as I didn't make it through the whole group, but it's hard as hell to get through. But yeah, there's a lot of people divorced who play poker for a living because you're gone, and you're gone like at evening time. Like you could be gone like 7. The best games are usually evening times, 7 at night, 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. You could be coming back in. How many nights are you going to have your partner chilling? And poker's boring to watch in reality because you can't really see the cards. TV, you can see a monitor and things like that, but playing in person, you're not close enough to see the cards. So it's boring. You're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs as a spectator. So that's why all the poker guys are divorced or broke up with their significant other. It's not easy. And you're going all over the place too. You don't do good in Vegas, maybe you'll go to Atlantic City. You don't do it good in Atlantic City, maybe you go to LA and play in the Commerce Casino. You don't go good there, then you're in Hollywood playing at the home games. You got all kind of options. So, and it's money management, by the way. It's money management. That's what poker really is. Yeah, it can be very addicting to some. Exactly. And you're in a casino environment, which brings addicts. Speaking of addicting, people are winning like, what's his name? I can see his face, but he's an old-time poker player. I can't remember his name. He was a good guy, though. He's an old-time poker player. He wins a tournament for $400,000, like right now. He gets the chips before he gets to the cage to tell them, hey, put my money in. He passes a craps table, and he's there putting down 10,000 a roll of the dice, 20,000 roll of the dice. Next thing you know, his 400,000 is gone in less than an hour. That's what was known in the poker industry for a lot of people. It was crazy. So the new guys all of a sudden said, nah, we doing poker management, man. That 400 G's, pop that. and we're going to use about 20 G's in the next poker event because you can't win them all. And so you need your bullets. It's a great, once you understand how you play and what you do, then you realize you're saving, and you come in and you say, okay, I can lose 10,000. So I cannot bring to the table or have anything around me more than 10 G's. Now, if you go up and win, fine. If you lose, fine, because you still have another 390 G's in your arsenal, right? The duffel bag of cash is still full. But this thing about you have $400,000 and you spending $50,000 L's tonight and $100,000 L the next night, that's not how you play. But we have a lot of guys that did that, and they don't last too long. They're next borrowing. I got stories I could tell you. It's crazy. You guys wouldn't believe it. How would you believe a guy gets loans? I'll just tell you who it is because you can look it up. Reno Cheem, Cheem, LA. He's a great player, but he takes high risk. So he plays cash games, tournament games. He'll be borrowing from people when he's playing the cash games. He won the World Poker Tour event. I can't remember the number. I think it was $1.5 or $2 million. He owed over $1 million because in the poker world, they allow you to borrow against you. You know, if you guys play, they'll say, yeah, we'll give you the money. You owe us later. And then the best borrowing I've ever. You could owe for a year. People don't get upset. 2 years, they don't get upset. But as soon as you win, he owed over $1 million. How crazy is that? And these are binding, by the way. That's another thing. Jamie Gold, who you saw in this video, he got into a lawsuit environment. He won the World Series of Poker at the time, the largest amount. I think it was $8 million. So, but he had a deal verbally with somebody else. He had to go to court for settlement. So I don't know if he got his full 8. I don't think he did. He had to settle and give the guys because they said they had 10 or 20 or 30%. And he tried to say, nah, I don't think so, but I think he had to pay out. It's crazy. All right. Do you play poker at the same location typically? How do you file taxes? You get a 1099? No, you don't get a 1099. No, that's the beauty of it. You're a professional player. So here's how it works. Unlike everything else. So let's say I want to go play a cash game. I'll just do cash. I'm going to go play a cash game tonight. So let's say I'm just going to play like, I don't know, 5-10 or whatever, 2-5, whatever the case may be. So I record that I brought, let's say, $1,000 to the table. All right. That's your entry point for tax. That causes a tax event. I put $1,000 in, whether I win or lose. Once I get up from the table as a professional poker player, you record that. There's no receipts, by the way. That's why this is all wild, right? So now if you won, it's a plus. If you lost, it's a negative. And over the course of every time you play, you record. At the end of the year, end of the month, you figure it out. End of the year, generally, you'll still be playing because you're going to be positive. So that means you won X amount, which means that's how much you have to pay in taxes. Or you can do like my boys, Negron, and all these guys. You're a corporation. This gets crazy. How about you being a corporation? You are just like a business. You are the corporation. So now you get other additional tax write-offs. That works. And if you play professional poker, every time you take a plane trip to anywhere, write off. Every time you're in your casino hotel room, write off. Every time you're in the casino, go eat something. You're playing, you go eat something, write off. You get to write off a lot of stuff. Rent a car, write off. All this stuff. You get all kind of stuff written off because you're declaring that you're doing this and you're recording it every time. It's awesome. So yes, for like, I think it was 5 years, 5 or 6 years, I pay taxes based on my poker playing career. But no, me personally, I never did. So if you play live games or tournaments, you live in a city. So yeah, some people have their favorite locations. So they'll go there and play all the time because you have recreational players. Then you have players that are there also that you see and play against all the time. So you know their trends. That happens. But as the world expanded and more people started playing and there was events all over the place, getting special invites. I mean, hell, I'm in Sacramento one year and I get a call from Lisa. I can't remember her name. Lisa Almanor, something like that. She calls me up and she says, "Hey, Eric, we're having the celebrity poker tournament at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in Vegas at the time, which is now, I think, Virgin." And so she's like, "Well, why don't you come down and be in it?" And I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "I got your room at the Hard Rock. I'll do some airfare, whatever." And then she says, like, everybody might know Phil Hellmuth's there and a bunch of people like from TV's there. It's crazy. It's wild. In fact, I don't even have any pictures, do I? I got to break those out. I have pictures. Whoever's there is there. I just can't remember. I've been to so many things. So that's actually a situation. She calls me, airfare. She's paying for it. Hotel room. She's paying for it. I just showed up. Now, get this. It's a celebrity poker tournament that's going to be for charity. So now any buy-ins write off free, but if we win, they give us chips. So I get to write it off and I get chips that I put at the cage and get cash back. This is crazy stuff. This is what we used to be able to do. So this is why guys never cared about how much they said, because it was like, it's not trackable. It's not traceable. You could be lying. It was a whole different ballgame. But no 1099. Not happening. No slip from the casino. But they changed it, though. Like I said, I can't remember. It was not 2009, 10, or 11, somewhere in there. Now, if you try to do this, you're going to get the $10,000 triggers a slip saying, okay, we're sending this into the government. So those loopholes were squashed and very tough on relationship indeed. Exactly. Like I said, it's not for, that's what I used to tell all the young guys. I mean, like, I used to tell them, the new kids showing up that were from college saying, I want to be a professional poker player. I want to do this. And I would tell them, I'd say, hey, man, if you're going to be in a relationship, you seriously have to consider, you're really going to do this poker thing and you expect your partner to follow you around all over the world and hang out in hotels and casinos for hours. I said, that is not a recipe for long term. I said, so here's the thing. I said, you guys got to think about this. If you're going to have a significant other, then you make sure they're part of the experience. So every time there's an event, she has to come, or he. Every time that you're going overseas, she's on the flight with you. She's hanging out with you, and all the parties and all the stuff that we're invited to, you're bringing her. Because otherwise, if she sits at home and you're gone for 4 or 5 days and you're over here showing people pictures of this, pictures of that, and she's sitting there like, this is ridiculous. And you're over there gambling and having fun in the Bahamas, and it's not going to go well for you. And sure enough, if you thought 60 or 70% of divorce was a thing in poker, it's like 90. It's crazy. It's insane. So this is where millionaires hang out. Georges Charles, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Thank you so much for being here with the icon next to your name. And by the way, so this is where the millionaires hang out. That's where the emerging millionaires hang out as well. So that's right. You're in the right place, right time, right location. So once again, So yeah, in fact, now that you guys are talking about, maybe me and Rhett will be talking about some more poker because it's very interesting. It's actually your own business. You have to think about it. It's like just like when you're investing in stocks and you say, "What's my rate of return?" You're investing in real estate. You're saying, "Hey, I'm putting in X amount of dollars. If I win, my win rate, like mine used to be 66, 67%, 65%. It was in the 60s for years." So I was like loving life. I was like, every time I play 6 out of 10 times, I'm cashing for sure. And then probably about 15 to 20% of the time, I'm going to be in the top 5. I'm going to be at the final table. So it was kind of like I was loving life until everybody else got real good. And so my number dropped from 60. And then in another year, it went from like to 50. And we track everything. We used to have software that tracks. So then it went to 40. And as soon as it goes under 40, that changed the whole thing. I was like, damn, I'm playing, I win. But then now 7 out of 10 times, I'm not even cashing or I'm not winning. So it kind of was like, okay, I can't really do this no more. But just like Seamless Genius, we had another thing going on. So I had another group of people that was actually gambling poker, and I used to receive rake back on everything they played. I had an agreement with Poker Rooms. Every time this person played, I would get commissions. I'd get checks. So I didn't even have to play poker, actually. And I still have money sitting online somewhere for online poker. All right. Vanessa Comagate at George's Jaws, apparently where the millionaires win and lose. Exactly, Vanessa Comagate. Hey, that's the other factor here when you start gambling. Just remember this. You guys, look, you don't think Vegas is built on winners, do you? Come on. A large percentage of the games are rigged, for Christ's sakes. Come on now. You guys know that. That's why I played poker, because you're actually playing against other individuals. If you play house games, those are rigged. The best house game that you can play is something that you see. Well, I won't. It's baccarat, right? Everybody tries to go, it's craps, it's 20, it's baccarat. That's it. That's one of your best moves that you can play. Learn that game. Then you can play for a long time, have a little fun. You too will be a high roller. I mean, because you're going to bet like $50 a hand or $100 a hand. You're going to win like 40% of the time. And then sometimes you're going to win 2 or 3 in a row. And in fact, I might even do a video about all this, because I'm trying to think of, there's certain things that people just casually play, like 21, baccarat, and these games, you could actually come out ahead if you actually double. So what I'm trying, let me give you guys some thoughts. Win 2 times in a row, right? If you win 2 times in a row, you're probably going to lose 3 times in a row, right? So when you stop thinking about chips as money and start thinking of them as chips, if you say I'm going to use 2 chips, but really you win, let's say I use 2 chips. It doesn't matter the denomination. They could be $25 each. They could be $100 each. You win, right? So now you put out 100, let's say 2 $50 chips. You win. Instead of you taking it back like most people do, what if you press it, as they say, and you actually now have $200? 100 is theirs from the previous win. 100 is what you started with. You're pressed 200, but you win 2 times in a row. You have $400 sitting there. So you take back $300 and start over. You now play $100. If you lose that, you don't take out $300, you pay $100. You use their money to double up. If you win 3 or 4 times in a row, you automatically have $800 to $1,000. But your odds of you winning 4 or 5 times in a row is pretty slim. The odds of you winning 2 times in a row, you have a chance at that. But at the same time, if you don't win, you're not betting $200, $300. You're only betting $100. So That's just something to think about when you're playing these, like Baccarat. It works, and it also works for 21. We can go on and on about this. I was a kid. I was 18 years old in casinos. The reason why, not for gambling, because it's a numbers game. And I was always sitting there like, man, you could do this, you could do this, you can do this. And so then eventually when I'm 21, I tried what I thought I could do, and it was very successful. And so that's how early on you want to enjoy life. Again, 21, 22, 23, being a VIP at casinos, that's a whole nother ball game that I'll talk about another day. In fact, I should be making videos about this. George's Charles, apparently this is where the millionaires hang and lose. Exactly. All right, here we go. Brian P. Hello, Eric. Welcome, Brian P. to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And oh, by the way, Brian P., another real estate investor, is in the house. I'm very proud of you. Hello, Eric is his tagline. I hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you, Brian P. Hello, SSN family. I got the notification and video tonight. That's very nice because I started that notification way late, only minutes before the live stream. So you were the second person that has received it. I think that's very, very nice of you. Interesting. But what is the winning versus losing ratio? How in the hell can you make the kind of money you need for hotels, meals, drinks, travel the world, etc.? Victor Marrero's on top of it. See, that's exactly the thing right there. Exactly the thing that you have to understand. Most people can't. That's why this thing that they don't talk about is people are borrowing money. They're staying in the same hotel rooms. They're staying in the same house. Like 4 or 5 people will be staying in the same house playing in a tournament or cash games, or poker players live together. They talk poker. It's crazy. I wasn't one of those guys. I could never hang. I play poker. I know all the guys, but I'm treated it more like a business. I'm like, I'm not hanging out here at 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like, I got wife. I'm home. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I won. I lost. I'm out. I don't have time to be drinking and partying, going to the club, doing all this crazy. And never mind about drinking, meals, and all that. Therein lies the situation, Victor Marrero. This is something that people don't understand as well, that I tried to tell all the young guns back then. These guys were sitting at tournaments, because I played a lot of tournaments, and that's where the fun is, right? There's parties the day before you land. It's usually like 5 days. The day you land, you get your room. It's all paid for, depending on who you are. But this is what I'm about to say. So again, I only played when I had a sponsor, so they paid for everything. Meanwhile, the other guys can't hang in reality, because they have to pay $1,500, $5,000, $10,000 to enter tournaments. They can't afford to not cash. You can only do that so many times. And that's where the problem comes in to be a professional poker player, is that you're hitting it right on the head. Meals, drinks, travel the world. It gets expensive if you don't cash. But again, like I said, if you have a pretty decent game, there's people that will back you. So what started happening is software comes out. You can offer shares. So let's just say buy-in is $10,000. You want to give up 50%. So you're selling 50% based on an X amount of shares. So $5,000, and you might do, I don't know, $500 each. So all you need is 10 people to buy your shares. You've actually out $5,000. The other people risked their 500 or more. Some people took more than one share. And then if you win, you got to give them 50% of the winnings. And some, I mean, it could be 30%, 25%. I was just giving you an easy example. And so if you lose, it costs you $5,000, not 10. So, or if you cash, yeah, you might cash, if it costs 10 grand, you might cash, let's say 15,000, because you finished whatever, right in the money. So you still have to break them off that 5,000. They're still going to get 2,500 if it's 50%. So you ship people their money. That's another option that most people don't talk about. And so that's the way that hotels, meals, travel, and all that's done. Or you can do the Reno Chino Ream situation borrow because you're a hell of a good player and people are willing to back you. And same thing, you can play cash games like Ballon. There's a guy named Robert Ballon. He basically is a good player, but he has like the worst luck of all. I mean, seriously. He would have backers backing him in cash games and tournaments. He would win some stuff too, not tournaments really, but he would cash. He'd give people their money. He'd play cash games, give them their money. He parlayed this into about a 15-year poker career. It's crazy, right? And he's traveling all over the world. And you got to think of this, Victor Morrell. Here it is. Remember, poker is played in casinos. Who do you think owns casinos? MGM, right? Caesars, MGM. The Steve Wynn doesn't own it anymore, but Harrah's. They don't own just in Vegas. They own in Biloxi. They own in Atlantic City. They own overseas. They own in China. So what you're forgetting is, remember, I sit down at the table. I come in. I have $2,000 or $3,000 in chips. We're playing poker. But where our poker is $5, $10 in the pot, we're putting in $50, $100, $500. You're a high roller at this point. So when you start asking, what about the hotels, meals, and tickets? Guess what? If I'm at Harrah's and I'm in freaking Australia, and that's part of the Harrah's or MGM or anything like that, I get free meals. I get free hotel and everything. So see, there's nuances that people don't get that it's hard to explain. Now, not everybody gets the special treatment, but a lot of people play poker. You're tracked. And when you want to go somewhere, you're generally going to be VIP as well. There's all kind of things that happen that nobody talks about, basically. And so that's why everybody wonders, how do you go all over? How do you do this? But I always said, I don't even care about that because I'm kind of doing it for fun. So that's how you do it. Oh, Vanessa Comagate already said it. They comp you like crazy when you're a regular. Exactly. She said it exactly right. Said it exactly right. So, Eric, you got displaced by the youngsters. Don't feel bad. It happens to all of us. Hey, you're damn right, man. So it's not so much. Well, yeah, it probably is more like the youngsters because this is what started happening. So it became such a boom where you heard like Chew won, what was that, $3 million at WPT, right? This is what Vanessa was talking about. This is what was talked about. The people would tell you the college kids are 18 years old and they're playing poker in their dorm rooms. And they're telling people, I want to be a professional poker player. And what do? They're studying hands. They're replaying hands. They have an advantage that never happened before because it wasn't on TV. So you had to learn by playing. So to get up to speed to be a great player took years. Now it's taking 1 year or less. These kids are like studying this stuff, living in dorms, leaving college and living in apartments together, and every day wake up and going through hands. This is what I did. This is what the other person did. What would you do? And these kids were, I mean, and I'm not talking about 5 kids. I'm talking about thousands. Oh man, I should break out the poker stories. So I'm going to give you another story and then I'll end the poker stuff because this is money management. I got to give you this story. I wish I could remember the guy's name too. I can't remember everybody's name. So I'm going to give you the story. So I have, as you guys know, Poker 101A. This is a little community, just like SSN Nation, right? I make money from that. I'm on Hold'em Radio, by the way, like I probably told you guys before. Hold'emRadio.com. I used to be talking about poker on that channel back in the day when it first started. I'm one of the original. Actually, I bought a piece of the company after, but for about a year or 2 years, I actually, with a guy named Wade Andrews, he wanted to do Hold'em Radio. He said, hey, Eric, why don't you announce games with me and discuss hands and all that? And I said, okay. I just did it for free. It was no big deal because we always said, yeah, what about Poker 101A? So it was no big deal. Then I said, you know what? I want to invest in Hold'em Radio. He's like, really? So I invested in Hold'em Radio. And that's how I became part owner of Hold'em Radio. And then he sold it later on. I think it's still Hold'em Radio. He sold it And he calls me up because I wasn't majority. I wasn't even 50-50. He calls me up and says, hey, Eric, I got a check for you. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, I sold Hold'em Radio. Come pick up some money. I was like, okay, cool. So that's how that goes. Now, the youngsters. So I have Poker 101A. So we have something called the Las Vegas Invasion, something like that, for like the World Series of Poker. And so I have a group of people along with other groups of people in other communities that do online poker playing, and all of us together invade Las Vegas, I think, whatever it was. But anyhow, we do all together, and we're all going to go to Vegas. So we set up 3 or 4 nights, and it's during the World Series of Poker. All right. This guy's, you got to love. This is business. So what happens is at the Venetian, when they first built the Venetian, they created a poker room, and the poker room was bought, or not bought, but the poker room was ran by the girl that used to run the poker room at Foxwoods on the East Coast. They gave her carte blanche. So it was brand new. So I call her up. I think her name was Kathy. I think it was Kathy something. I call her up. I say, hey, Kathy, you just opened this poker room up in Las Vegas at the Venetian. She's like, yeah, we need poker players, Eric. I was like, what? Oh, because everybody plays at the Bellagio or at the place where the volcano is. I can't remember the name of it. Can't remember. Steve Wynn's place. That's where all the poker players generally all came to play. So I was like, Kathy, it's the World Series of Poker. All the poker players are going to be here. She goes, yeah, but we can't get the names over here. I said, okay, hold on. I said, I know the guys at Absolute Poker. You know who their poker pro is? It's Mark Safe. Mark Safe just won a World Series of Poker bracelet. I said, Absolute Poker is actually going to come over and bring over some AP stuff. And Absolute Poker had, like, I'm just going to call them cheerleaders. They weren't really cheerleaders, but they were like the LA Lakers type dancer squad, dress look-alike kind of thing, and models and stuff like that. So they were coming too. So you had the beauty, you had the guys with some money. And she says, Eric, if you do that, I'll allow you to host your own party here at the Venetian. I'll have you 2 servers. I'll have you all the food that you want. And so from that, I called up the lady, Jen at AP, and I said, hey, I need Mark Safe. I need whoever wins from AP at the World Series of Poker. I need you to have them come to the party, even if it's for 10 minutes. Because Kathy, and I started telling her, I said, you know, she opened that poker room. She's trying to get poker players, more famous type poker players that come through. She goes, all right, Eric, no problem. Sure enough, Jen went above and beyond the call. Next thing I know, Mark Safe is there. Mike Matisow, I don't know if people know that. He comes through. We have a few other poker players. I can't remember the roster. But anyhow, few guys come through. And now Kathy comes to me and is like, Eric, I love you. I love you. I said, oh, hey, you got to talk to Jen. She helped out. And then Wade comes through with Hold'em Radio, and he tells people, hey, come to the party over at the Venetian. They just opened the poker room. So now Kathy loves me for life. And so the point is, one of the guys that won a World Series of Poker bracelet is 19. He's one of those new kids that dropped out of college. He wins $775,000. The first event he comes to is, guess what? Poker 101A, AP at the Venetian. He sits down. The guy has no social skills. He's been in a room for the last 2 years playing poker. in a college dorm room. Apparently he graduated, I think he was like 16 or something early. He was in college. He's like, he's talking like weird, like a geek. He's like inappropriate. I mean, not like inappropriate wording, but just off. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine, but I'm not used to this. Because he won, everybody knows who he is. So now people are talking to him, but he doesn't know what to do. He's only like 19. And so it was funny as hell. But this guy, I can't remember his name either, but he's the first interview at my party at the Venetian with Kathy. And then I seen him like 3 years later, and I was like, hey, I know you from somewhere. I'm like, yeah, you came to that party at the Venetian that time, and you acted awkward. He's like, yeah, I was awkward, man. I saw some of the video back then. So now it's like 2 or 3 years later, and he's like, but he's still awkward though, because he still was just poker 24/7. You know, his social skills was lacking. So that's one of the downfalls that actually occurred. All these poker players, their social skills were off because they started so young when you're talking about it. But the kids, yeah, they came up fast. They were fast. They took chances that nobody else would take. They didn't care about dying or being busted. They shared money with each other, put it together like a little corporation. So if one of them wins 50,000 or 100,000, they just say, hey man, here's your 5,000, here's your 1,500, here's your 2,500. Let's all go in this next event. And they were playing like that and no fear. And when you have 5 or 6 of these guys and they start being real good, it started getting hectic out there, Victor Morrell. Hectic. So yeah, you have to understand your limitations. It's just the way I look at it. I have a client that plays baccarat all the time, and that guy wins a lot. There you go. Exactly, because it's like it's something like 44% win chance every time. And the fact that the house gets like, I believe it's 55%, that's the only game that you have that type of odds. Every other game, you're talking 0.5, 0.2, 0.1. People don't realize this. And slot machines, they're all rigged anyhow. They're computerized. All right. Just keep that in mind. All right. Wait, who's losing? And hey, this is poker. We all lose at gambling sooner sometime. That's how it works. But I didn't go down with the ship. I just realized what it was. It was just like so many more people are better. So I was like, I'm down to like 35% win rate. That's not good enough for a professional poker player. That's not even close. So that's when I said, you know what? I make money other ways. So I might as well I'm not even going to do this anymore. And then of course the hammer came down for online poker in 2008, 2009. At the time, the United States blocked it. Yeah, because all the poker rooms are offshore. So therefore, I could play 4 tables at once. And we had 50 hands per hour when you play electronically. Out of 50 hands, you might play 10, 12, 15 hands. A lot more hands in live. So now you're sitting in the comfort of your home, your comfort of being in Mexico, your comfort of being in Aruba, your comfort of being anywhere, Miami. And you're sitting there like, I'll just go online. Hey, I'll play for a few hours, because now 4 hands, 200 hands per hour. You play in 2 or 3 hours. You've got a lot of hands. You've either won or you lost, whatever the case may be. So you didn't have to sit there for 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours in a smoky, dusty casino. Simple. All right. That's the stories, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Hopefully you guys like those little stories. Victor Morrell, does the wheel strategy allow you to buy low and sell with a profit? There you go. There you go. Yeah, I wish I could remember these guys' names. Victor Morrell, at Vanessa, yes, you buy low, sell high. You collect a premium on top of that for buying and selling. The premium amount is based on the type of stock. I recommend folks check the wheel strategy. I like it. We might have to talk about that sometime. All right. We might have to talk about that sometime. And you know who else I should have on? Yeah, I might have to start bringing on some people. I should have on, Lacey Jones, another friend of mine via poker. I'm doing the first time I'm in Las Vegas. Hold'em Radio is having an event at I can't even remember where it was. Well, anyhow, it's some casino on the was it Riviera? Some casino on the Strip. It's no longer there. That's why I'm trying to remember which casino it was. But it was on the Strip. And he says, I'm doing a Hold'em Radio event. Come on down. All right. Come on down. I'm at room number at a hotel. So he literally, just like a podcast, he literally has a table with a microphone, just what we'd see as a podcast when there wasn't podcasts. And he's doing it on the radio, though. He's not recording it via video. So I go meet Wade because I know him at the time. I'm not doing any announcing on this thing. It's just that I have Poker 101A. He's heard about it. That's what he's doing. So I go and meet Wade, and he goes and tells me, hey, man, you know this is a Hold'em Radio. I'm trying to do this on stream it on the internet. It's going to be like worldwide. I said, really? I said, this is pretty good. He's like, yeah. I said, all right, I like what you're doing. So then he's like, yeah, but I don't know any poker players. Now, mind you, I don't really know that many either, because it almost coincides when I first started at the same time. So I go to, in fact, our friend Jen, Lacey, and Lynette Chan. That's right, Lynette Chan, Lacey Jones. So I see Lacey, and she's at some casino. And I'm like, Lacey, hey, check this out. There's a new thing called Hold'em Radio. And she was kind of new to poker. She was actually winning tournaments and things like that. Rare for a woman. And I said, hey, but you need to get your name out there a little bit more since you're kind of like new and you know things. Hold'em Radio's at this room at this casino, and you should go over there. Well, and she says, okay, I'm going to be over there in like 3 hours. So 3 hours, I go back over there with Wade, and I said, hey, man, we might have Lacey Jones come over here. He's like, oh, man, she just won a tournament or something. I said, yeah, she's coming. He's like, I don't believe it. That would be awesome. Not only does Lacey come, she brings Lynette Chan with her, who's a poker player, another female poker player. And that thing, Wade and those guys go off. They're just like, I don't believe this. This is awesome. And they're on for like an hour and a half. Lynette and Lacey all of a sudden start getting calls from people saying, hey, we heard you on the radio. We want to invite you to, why don't you come down here and be at the Commerce Casino at the all women's thing that we're going to televise on ESPN. That's what started happening. So now that's when Wade falls in love with me, of course. He's like, Eric, I can't believe it. And then I had, oh man, there's a guy from Australia, and I knew him too. He's a professional poker player that actually won World Series of Poker ring, or not ring, but a bracelet back in the day before it became popular. He says, Eric, anything for you, man. I'll go over to the hotel for Hold'em Radio. So I'm not even there. Wade calls me up and he goes, I can't believe you got this bracelet when they're over here too. He did a 45-minute interview. I don't believe it. I said, man, some more people are coming. And he's like, I don't believe this. And so that's how me and Wade with Hold'em Radio started our little friendship, ultimately partnership, and fun with poker. So talk about all this stuff. This is stuff that, again, I have no video. I don't even know if I can get audio. Nobody knows about this stuff. And it's crazy history. People would be like, are you kidding me? All these people. I go to Reno. There's a guy named, oh God, I can't remember all these guys' names. I haven't even thought about it in years. A guy that's a Canadian poker player. And his name is like Canada Jack, or I can't remember his name. No. It's Yukon Jack, I think his name was. No, that's Brad Yukon Booth. I know Brad Yukon Booth as well. There's I can't remember the guy's name. But anyhow, I do an event up in Reno, Nevada, Well, UConn showed up too. A bunch of people showed up, and I'm doing Hold'em Radio remotely with Wade. And while there's a poker tournament and these guys are busting out the tournament, I'm like, hey, come over here, man. You got to get on Hold'em Radio. You got to talk with Wade. It was crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It was crazy fun, though. So when you're talking about, are you going to enjoy your life, having a little fun, do it early, because you never know what's going to happen in your life. Do it often and early. This is the way you do it. Set up your strategy plays, just like we were setting things up with the Seamless Genius professor, making plans, just like we're talking about making plans with the elevator, just like we're talking about making plans with our real estate investing. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Have fun along the way. That's how you do it. Let me see it. This wheel, did I already go over it? Yes, buy low, sell high, collect the premium on top of that for buying and selling. The premium amount is based on the type of stock. I recommend folks check the wheel strategy. Okay, we did go over that. I like that scenario. The fact you were able to control yourself was great, but I bet there are folks totally addicted to it, like cocaine. Is what gets you in trouble. Victor Moreau, you're right. Yes, you are exactly right. In a casino, the casino inherently have these people that are addicted. But again, there's reasons. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's maturity. It's different ways you look at things. These guys who were gambling for the thrill of it. They didn't care if they went broke. They were just gambling for the thrill of it because they knew there would be a lifeline. One of their friends that won would go, oh, yeah, here's $5,000. Here's $10,000. Oh, man. Man, you know what? I think I'm going to have a poker series here. I think I'm going to do a poker thing. I just remembered I should get Blair Rodman on here. He actually won World Series bracelets and played poker for like 30 years. In fact, he's still playing. It's crazy. All right, everybody heard of Doyle Brunson, maybe, and he's played with all these guys. I played with Doyle Brunson too, in fact, come to think of it. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, Blair Rodman, not really known, but he plays cash games. He lived in Vegas for like 20, 25 years. The addiction is a thing. Blair Rodman, he wasn't addicted. Mike Matusow, yeah, he's throwing money all over the place. After he wins a tournament, 1.5 million, it's all gone potentially. So it's money management, just like any business, but some of the guys treat it as gambling. They're just like betting on horses, betting on baseball games, sporting events. They're doing all this crazy. To me, it's crazy. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you just won like 400 G's and you're over here betting 200 of it. I was like, that's crazy. Why are you doing this? And it's just like, oh, you have fun. I'm just like, dude, yeah, but you're going to be broke. You're going to be broke. This doesn't make any sense. It's hard enough. Everybody's getting better. I used to have these little talks and these guys are just like, I don't care. And then sure enough, later on, it's like they didn't invest their money into businesses. They were just straight gamblers. And that's what happens to the general population, no matter who you are. Every day there's Gamblers Anonymous. Phone numbers that you have to call. They're just ordinary individuals. And if you're in a casino long enough and many hours enough and you get perks, like Vanessa Comegate, Seamless Genius was talking about, you get comped. You're in the hotel. They're giving you food. They're giving you drinks and other things. And then the next thing you know, you go down and you're like spending your last money because you're enjoying how they're treating you like a VIP. You get to go to the steakhouse on top of the place with a view. They say, hey, go and we'll give you a helicopter ride to the Grand Canyon, whatever floats your boat. You know, you can go out on the yacht on Lake Mead or whatever. I mean, they got it all. And then you feel good, but yet you're going to use your money and go down and gamble because you're like, oh, they're giving me all this stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go down here and win this money back. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Boss, you're catching the vapors. Exactly. Oh, but that was another lifetime. That's another lifetime. But you're right. It was fun, though. It was fun as hell. And I had a different policy altogether because I have like I think I had a picture of Negreanu in one of these things. I don't know if people know Daniel Negreanu, and I'll never forget when he took a picture with me. He goes, "Hey man, I can't. You got to be on the lower step." I started laughing. He's a funny guy. He's a nice guy though. He's the nicest guy you would ever meet. And it proceeds. You can tell if you ever know who Daniel Negreanu is. You watch him. He's funny. He's a nice guy. But Negreanu and all the big stars were sponsored. They had a huge advantage. They're playing in any tournaments they want to play in, and the amounts for buy-ins, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, their poker room or sponsorship would pay for it. So they're in essence free rolling with no payback on some of these guys, meaning they give them $50,000 where they can buy in a $25,000 tournament, super buy-in tournament, $10,000, that's 35, and then a 5,000, that's 40 G's. And if they win or lose, they don't owe them anything. They had sponsorships. So I had a policy. I play in tournaments, I'm sponsored. So I was just like them. So then you don't have the pressure of using your own money. So that makes a difference. So it makes a huge difference, big time difference. So again, that's what you do, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So that's some of the few of the characters that's around. And once I start thinking about it, there's lots of characters around that was pretty crazy. And the picture you saw with David Chu, it's at his birthday party. It's his birthday after the Hard Rock Casino celebrity charity event. How crazy is that? That's the event he's at. That's the event I'm at. That's the event that who's at. And so we're up at the Delano, however you pronounce it, at Mandalay Bay. And we're all end up there. And it's closed off. It's our own little private party. He's there. It's like his birthday. And that's where the snapshot comes. Hey, happy birthday, man. And in fact, I'm talking about Lacey Jones, Liv Boree, Boree. She actually has a TV show now, traveling around the world. It's crazy. She's a professional poker player back in the day. And then you have Maria Ho. If you saw the World Series of Poker, she's at Poker Go, she's an announcer and she still plays poker. And she goes all over the world announcing pro poker tournaments and plays still. But the only person on the planet that has one picture with all three of them right here, this guy, the only poker player that has all three of them in the same, and we're all like hugging up, the only ones. So I have to remind them once in a blue moon. I'm like, hey, what you guys doing? So it's kind of funny. Anyhow, you must have the self-discipline to walk away from the poker table, especially after winning. It's like trading. Once you have gained 75% of the trade, just cash in and go for the next one. And that's what's so most important about the poker world. That's what it's designed for. It's designed to do like trading. You're supposed to know what you have put in. That's why you record it. And then like you're saying, I got 75% gain, I'm out. You're not going to break anything. You're not going to bust the casino. You're not going to bust all the players at the table. So if you started with 2,000 and you leave with 3,500, what's wrong with that? Why are you going to sit there and continue to go when you've been there for 4 or 5 hours and you got $1,500 profit? I mean, most people would say that's pretty good for 4 or 5 hours, right? And you're comped your meals and you're comped drinks and you're comped a hotel probably. So what are you doing? That's not good enough? No. Some guys will say, no, man, I need to win $5,000. And then they lose that initial, whatever, 2,000, 2,500 they put in. It's money management, just like what Victor Morel's saying when you're doing your stock and trading. It's the same thing. Just like when you're buying any stocks, any investments, you're buying real estate, same thing. You're buying at a certain price based on it. And by the way, I started doing something and I forgot all about it. And here we are 3 hours later. I'm very sorry. I was congratulating the person that bought at Ansaya at Aldea. And she sent a message about she doesn't understand how she can evaluate how much she's going to make. Well, nobody that has pre-construction, first of all, can know for sure how much there's going to be a return on investment. All we can do is use available data. Available data says if I'm downtown at Ansaya at Aldea and they have clubhouses, sports complex, I don't know if that's true, if they're ever going to have that, but I know they're going to have a clubhouse, a couple of them. I don't know about the sports complex because the announcement should be coming out this week. But whatever amenities they have, and you have a studio, I would think if you buy a studio for $104,000, I would think you'd be able to rent downtown for $104. And if you're able to do that at a clip of 60%, you're going to be doing very well. 60% is 18 nights. So that's $1,800 after all said and done. Let's just say that's $1,800 a month. Let's say we'll even use the 25% number. So now you have $450 gone. You're down to 12, right? Then you got to give out HOAs, which are, I think it was $75, if I'm not mistaken, or $125. But we'll just drop it down to $1,000. Okay, that's going to be our profit. Well, I shouldn't say our profit, because what could happen is if you have a loan and you owe $50,000, you could have a loan, and I'll say $200. Okay, so we have, but we'll still figure $1,000. So $800 gone, $1,000 of profit if we do 60%. We'll just keep it simple. We'll just use our leeway here. That would end up being $12,000 a year, which means you're over 10% because you only bought it 104, which would be a good thing to start off with, in my opinion. Now, the question though is, will you get 100 or will you have to charge 60 a night or 75 a night? That's the question. That's why you get places that have additional amenities, because that'll have a premium value. But I suspect $100 per night is not going to be a problem for a studio unit, I don't think, or one bedroom. But prices are escalating. If you don't get a property downtown and buy right now, or anywhere in DR right now, when these guys reach 10 million, which they will this year, the number is going to be 11 or 12 million when you include the cruises and air in 2024. I just don't think that they're going to have enough availability. A lot of people are going to live there in their units. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. All right. Exactly. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Exactly, Vanessa Comagate. That is the battle with the casino. If you're playing casino games, that is what you need to understand. You will not bust the house. They're going to bust you while you're still trying to bust them. So run away with your profits and be happy. That's the bottom line. That's the way I've always looked at it. That's how I've always helped my friends when they're gambling. They're ahead by large margins. I'm like, I just kind of like grab them like, hey man, we got to go. They're like, no man, I'm on a roll. I'm like, dude, you won like $10,000. You only started with the $1,000. What are you trying to do? Give it back, I guess, because you won 9 G's. What are you doing? Let's go. All right. You may win a battle against a casino, but you won't win the war against it. Exactly, Victor Moreau. Very well said. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you smash the like button. And if you like what I'm talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. And I appreciate you here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If there's anything else you want to discuss, please talk about it now. Otherwise, join us on Friday night live stream, the SSN Nation Friday night live stream, where we'll have a different topic. The point of the poker stories, as it turns out, is you guys can tell I had a lot of fun. All right. Lifetime ago. All that fun. But how could you have the fun is because there was business involved. there was an expansion involved with the Hold'em radio versus just having my own little niche. And then it expanded to that. Then it expanded to poker rooms, real life poker rooms. So anytime I go to Vegas Kathy's not the poker room manager no more. But at the time, anytime I went there, I go play, and then she would come in because she sees the cameras. I wouldn't even tell her I'm coming. She would see the cameras and she'd be like, Eric, why didn't you tell me you were coming? Hey, the Blue Man Group's playing over here. You want to go check them out? I got tickets for you. And I got your meal upstairs. I didn't even ask her for nothing. And she's like just giving me all the stuff, all because of what happened when I brought these professional poker players, World Series of Poker, WPT guys were all over. And she actually hosted my party. That's how crazy this is. I got to talk about this party even more because she actually had servers coming in. The room we had was private, in the poker room, and it's private. And she had 2 servers go out and get everybody's drinks and come back in. And she had people going to get food from the restaurant. So they would just order here. It wasn't even set up that way, but she made it happen. And then, like I say, Jen from AP, and I can't remember who else was there. There's somebody else that came too, but I can't remember everything. And so that set up this whole thing. And then as it turned out, some of the guys that were there, well-known, started playing at the poker room, and she was all happy because now that was a promo for her. Now it shows, oh, hey, the World Series of Poker players are over here. The World Poker Tour guys that are known, they won bracelets, won events, and they're playing here at our place. It's a promo. So now all of a sudden the poker room gets boom. People started coming. Table games. People are doing 250, 500s, 25, 10, 25s. And you have to understand, when I'm doing these numbers, it's $10, $25. The pots are getting like $1,000, $1,500, $3,000 on a freaking game that's like a 10, 25 antes. So you put in 25. Some dude says, I'm raising to 100. Now there's 150 in the pot. Another guy says, I'll call your raise, which now means there's like 350. And then some guy wakes up down the line and says, 500 raise. Next thing you know, before we even deal cards, you're at 2 G's. I mean, it got nice and crazy and juicy. You love that if you're playing cash games. So that's what the beauty of this whole thing was. Now that I'm telling all these stories that I completely forgot about, by the way, now I got to find some pictures, right? You guys are probably like, where's the pictures? I need pictures. Yeah, tell me about it. I got to find them myself. So one of these days, maybe, well, I'm not in Cali, so I won't be finding them anytime soon because they're in a suitcase somewhere or in a bag or box. Who cares? But if I find them, you guys will see them. All right. So, and maybe I'll have a World Series of Poker guy come on. I'll give you a name. Greg Raymer. All right. Me and him hung out. He was at Asian Poker Tour in Australia. Yeah, I shouldn't be telling you guys all this stuff. This has to do with, are you ready to enjoy life tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Because you have lifetimes of enjoying life. But first, set up where you have the passive income or the business. You got to set that up. All right? Set that up, ladies and gentlemen. Because then the assets will carry you to wherever you want to go. And you always make big adventures. Just like we're talking tonight about the coffee. What Seamless Genius, Vanessa Comagate and Professor Auntie Val's talking about. She could set this up. And then it won't just be where she might be in South Florida. She might find herself, it could be the DR. It could be in LA. It could be a lot of places that have beaches. All over the world has beaches. She could find herself in Maui, right? Maldives. She could find herself Bali, Maldives. She could find herself Hawaii, anywhere that there's water could be her oyster because she's setting up different business in that place, in that country, in that city. Easy. You can be in South America, find yourself in Mexico. I mean, it's you never know where your story is going to go. But the fact she has a beachfront Java, which is a business, which is an asset, she can expand that asset to however far she wants to go. And twists and turns could come because you're going to meet new people as you go on through the business. So something could happen this year, something could happen next year. You never know, the year after that. But she started it off, and you guys have helped out by helping her start. So go order some more of that awesome coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Beachfrontjava.com. Go over there and pick it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enough with the poker stuff. We're going to have on, yes, the guy that won $1 million at the World Series of Poker a while ago, another lifetime. We're going to be talking business, not so much poker, because we are going to be talking about a store that he opened, which a lot of people may want to find out about this because it's a clothing store. And why he picked that location, I have an idea, because I believe he went to college in that area. I think he also may be from Virginia. But the fact of the matter is, we want to find out, right? What went into his thinking process to open a store and have partners? Think about it, right? And what made him change some of the inventory items? All this comes up for people that are thinking about starting your business. That's why we call this Stop Struggling Now. You get to learn from other people's thoughts and ideas and possibly can help you out. And we don't charge. It's the No Guru Zone, right? There's no webinar. Just be here on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday live, and you get to ask questions. If it's not going to be on a Wednesday, I can tell you that right now, because members only with the icon can be in the chat room on Wednesdays. But it'll probably be on a Monday. It might even be on a Saturday. I don't know what his schedule is, but it'll be Monday or Friday in the evening if I have my choice. If he has a choice, whatever choice he wants, I don't really care. But you guys are the ones that are going to win, because you'll get to understand the process of a person that has a business open right now in a brick and mortar location, which is very, very hard amongst everybody that can order online and have it delivered within a day or same day or next day or the 2 days later. Hard to compete with that, even though they can send stuff out to people as well, but it's still hard to compete. So I want to know how he's doing this. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the well wishes for my brother as well. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you so much. I love you guys. And if there's ever anything you need, you know where to find me. Emails, support@stopstrugglingnow.com. And I did not finish the whole thing about the STR, figuring out your value. Because your value is based on a few things. There's talk of people renting out their condos and villas long term, 6 months, and getting pretty pennies. That could be a thing, especially when you have high demand. And we're not just talking about Punta Cana. The whole island is in high demand. All right. So I like high demand where I know 60% of the population coming to the island is landing at this airport. I want to be there. Some people may say, oh no, I want to be over at La Semana because there's not that many places to stay. So even though there may only be 500,000 people that come over there annually, but there's only 4 places to stay. So again, you have to look at those type of things. I saw something on YouTube at Haracoba, up in the mountains. It was a little resort with a little river coming through it. I was like, oh my God, that place is awesome. That's a place I would hang out at. The river's coming through. You hear it out the back of your little condo or suite, whatever it was. They have a restaurant on site, bar, and it's right outside of the outskirts of that little city. And yet it was beautiful, palm trees, just relaxing. I was just like, oh, this is awesome. We know that they're building pre-construction condos in the mountain area. Victor Morel is one of the people that knew about it as well. And he said, hey, man, that's going to be an awesome spot. It is going to be an awesome spot. The properties are still cheap. It's not really a hot spot, but it's in the mountains, which ultimately, if you have enough tourists coming to the island, not everybody wants to be at the beach. I keep telling you guys this. Some people are like being in the mountains. They're going to say, I'm going to the mountains. Especially when there's caves, especially when there's waterfalls, especially when there's a mini rainforest. people come. All right. So just keep all that in mind. You have to look at the advantages you can have for the price. So when you're determining how much the value is, you can't. All you can do is go to Airbnb, VRBO, booking.com, see how much things are renting for presently, knowing full well in the future, give yourself each year maybe just minimal 3 to 5% increase in price. You can figure out when your place is built in 2 years. If it's being rented, for example, right now, everything generally is $99, $100, $105. Rest assured, 2 or 3 years, 2 years from now, you should be able to charge $105 for sure, $110 to $115. And the more you can go above your 1%, and if you can get a 60% occupancy rate, the more you'll get closer to 20% annual return. That is the markers. And if you keep waiting until 2024, when prices go up another 50,000 or 70 grand, your return on investment is going to be lower and you're going to be doing the same rent. So that is the kicker. You guys are very, very lucky to already be involved. And some of you have done the right thing, in my opinion, for investing in real estate anywhere at this point, pre-construction, but especially if you're doing Dominican Republic. I'm affectionate for that, as you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up tonight. Thank you so much again for being here. And as you always know, sorry for going off on the little poker things, but hey, we're going to have a little poker guy on. In fact, I might have on like 3 or 4. Oh, and by the way, I mentioned Lacey Jones for a reason. She has a skincare line. Yeah, exactly. Online. It's interesting, right? She has like this skincare thing going on. Oh, she used to be a model too, by the way. Forgot about that. And so that's why business-wise is again, we might talk poker and tell the story about when I met her and went to Hold'em Radio. Maybe do that just for whoever's watching. But she has a skincare line now and she sells skincare products. How cool is that, right? And Vanessa Comegate knows beauty industry, right? You know what it is. Just saying. All right. So with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for being here. And make sure, no matter what happens, because it's hard out there, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.